All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Market Close. We got a lot of stuff happening in the global capital equity markets that we are going to be talking about. In about 20 minutes, we will have Technical Tuesday with Jason. So we will get into all those technical levels for key indices and stocks. But I think let's start off. Thank everybody for being here with the biggest story of the day, which it's pretty incredible to see this playing out, but it is indeed happening. And I've got some stats for you all that I think will probably blow your mind. You got Tesla, that's green right there, 270. Entire market going green. We'll talk about that in a second, but pretty much everything going green as we enter into the last 15 minutes of the day. SOFI, Google, Nvidia, the Qs, Robinhood, CoreWeave. Wow, I did not know that was up 32%. I am finding that out for the first time with all of you guys. That's up 32%. I was going to talk about Newsmax. That is up 193% at $245. It is a $31 billion market cap. It is bigger than Fox News, which also is a public company. It's so fitting that this is happening literally on April Fools. You can't buy puts on it because the option chain isn't available. And even if it was available, I mean, the premium on those puts would be kind of ridiculous. You might not even want to pay that premium yet. But this is insanity. This is absolute insanity, and I really don't know how to make sense of it. To give you guys some stats on this, Newsmax market cap is now higher than 235 companies in the S&P 500. It IPO'd yesterday. Some of those companies have been in the S&P 500 for years. Meanwhile, its trailing 12-month sales are $156 million. The $156 million they brought in revenue over the past 12 months is higher than none of the companies that they are currently valued more than at $32.02 billion, up another 200% today. This stock is up 2,463%, and it has not been 48 hours. It's kind of insane. It's kind of insane. AC says, is it meme stock time again? I don't know, but honestly, I'm looking at CoreWeave for the first time today. Last time I saw it, it was up 10%. Now it's up 32%. I wouldn't put it behind the meme stock mania for CoreWeave to get a 40 or a 32% bump today based on what's happening with potentially Newsmax. Now, there might be an Nvidia catalyst here that's causing CoreWeave to get some momentum that we'll talk about in a second. This one up about 33%, now at a $23 billion market cap. But Newsmax is worth more than CoreWeave now, which is just, I mean, it is just absolutely incredible. They tried halting this thing many, many times today. It was not working. They halted it at 130, 140, 150, 120. It is right back here at 248. So I guess the question is going to be, when does this end? I have no clue. I mean, if this thing wants to get crazier than GameStop, then I think it can get crazier than GameStop. Now, GameStop, again, was shorted more than 100%. So that was a whole different era. But from 10 to 250. I don't think anyone should feel bad, though, because I don't think any of you guys would have bought it at 10. I definitely wasn't going to buy it at 10. I wasn't going to buy a radio, cable, conservative news network at $10. I wouldn't have seen anything there. But for anyone who took the chance on it, congrats, you've done very well. So that's what we got in the context of Newsmax and CoreWeave. Now, one thing it is good for in the broader markets, particularly for financials, is that if CoreWeave had a successful IPO, which at least it's up 30% right now, which is pretty good, and Newsmax, maybe it doesn't end up being up 2,000%, but maybe it's still up at least 20, 30% when it's all said and done. Maybe the market's getting ready to say, hey, we kind of don't care about all this tariff volatility. We're okay with IPOs and M&A. And as a result of that, that should potentially be beneficial for the Klarnas, the Discords of the world that are trying to go public, and the Stripes looking for that market opportunity to end up going public. The 10-year is down right now. We're at 4.173. That is nice to see. Equities are turning green towards the end of the day as we have that 10-year coming down. I think it was a little bit lower than 4.17, but it is nicely lower than where we were back on Monday or Friday, which was closing in on 4.4%. And we just could not have that on the 10-year. So that one going down is nice to see. HIMS had a big update today. Let's get into that, and then we'll talk about Nvidia. But before I get into HIMS real quick, I just sorry guys, I need to drink some water. I'm just really thirsty right now. Let me just get some water in. Oh man, it's good water. Got to stay hydrated, folks. Got to stay hydrated. Let's just leave this right there. There we go. Let's leave that hydrated. Let's leave that right there so I can always be hydrated. All right. Anyway, so HIMS. HIMS is up 8%. The reason HIMS is up 8% is because, well, they're like now distributing another drug. Now they're up 5.3%. At one point, they were up 9%. They are distributing a drug by, dude, what's the name of the company? By Eli Lilly? Is it? Yeah, by Eli Lilly. And it's Zepbound. Zepbound. So they're now distributing a new drug from that they weren't distributing before, apparently. And they're going to be selling it through their telehealth product, which is the core product that everyone is excited about when it comes to HIMSS. And it will be Zepbound. DDI said right here, he's been a big HIMSS bull for a while. He says, I actually love this move from HIMSS. They're an incredible healthcare platform that allows their customers to access services with minimal friction and at a transparent cost. This will certainly be more expensive than their current GLP-1 offering, but that is coming to an end in mid-May anyway. Continuing to offer a modern GLP-1, even at a higher price point, is a benefit to HIMSS and their customers. It also keeps them from skirting around the edges of the law and risking lawsuits. So, bullish. Not bad for HIMSS. I don't have a position in this stock, but I mean, look, you guys tell me every single day how undervalued it is. I agree with you. I think trading at a price of sales of 2, given the growth that they're putting up, yes, it is undervalued. So I don't think anyone's wrong on that analysis. HIMSS right here up 5.2%. It was basically at these levels last week. Now it's at 5.2. Again, it's down from 73. You could argue the entire market was a little bit overinflated when HIMSS was at 73, but definitely deserves to have a little pop right here, up 5% on the day. The S&P 500 is green, 560. Tesla, 269. Even Grab going green. Rocket Lab is green, up 1% on the day. Robinhood, 4209. Nvidia, 109.38. I did buy 10 more shares of Nvidia today, I believe at 108.9. So I did buy 10 more shares of Nvidia, and I'll say why in a second. SoFi right here up 1.93%. Google's up 1.3%. CleanSpark's up 12%. Red Cat's up 7%. MicroStrategy's up 5.3%. We are getting a pretty decent green close towards the end of the day. And Newsmax is now up another $15 since we started the show, from 240 to 262. So there you go. Newsmax continues to pump, and Palantir is also green as well. We got something on Palantir that we got to talk about. Palantir barely green right here, basically flat on the day, 84.40. That's what we got on Palantir. Okay, so let me quickly address the Palantir thing, and then we'll get into Nvidia. 7 minutes into the market closes. We should have Jason on in about 15 minutes to start the technical Tuesday for today. Now, here's something Jason actually found that I thought was really interesting. I don't know how to read into it yet, and we'll probably talk about it later today. But 174,000 contracts were traded on the April 25th $60 put on Palantir. Now, these contracts were bought, not sold. Bought, not sold. So you got a lot of premium that's chasing these contracts to get an insurance policy, a policy essentially on Palantir if it falls from 85 to 60, which is the strike of these contracts. Potentially signaling one of two things. I think number one, either people are really afraid about Palantir earnings. However, their earnings are in May, not in April. So I don't know why you would do it like 3 weeks before the earnings, unless you think something's going to happen in the next coming weeks. So it might not really be like an earnings hedge, because like it would just be later in May. Or B, maybe there's a short report coming out on Palantir and someone knows about it, or they know some headline is going to come out that's not really good on Palantir, and as a result, they're hedging. But this doesn't look like a hedge, bro. This looks like a, hey, I know this thing's about to come down and I'm really going to capitalize on this, given it's 7x the volume of the open interest today. Open interest was 24,000. The volume was 174,000. The majority of those being bought versus sold. Again, when you sell a put, it's bullish. When you buy a put, it's a bit more bearish. And as a result, that is definitely something that is rather bearish today in the context of Palantir. I don't think that was a fat finger that bought 174,000 puts, but it is a decent amount. So look, maybe those put premiums go to waste, because at the end of the day, this is why people buy puts, to hedge. And if the hedge goes to zero, then they're fine with that. Or there might be something else. And I haven't found any news. There was some stupid article by Taylor Lorenz that I'm going to do a breakdown of tomorrow on X. For those that don't know, Taylor Lorenz, social media pop influencer who writes articles. And the title of the article was "Alex Karp is more evil than Elon Musk," or something like that. I don't think Taylor's opinion is that really respected in the business journalism finance space, but I'll be reading the article and breaking it down tomorrow. But that can't be the headline for why someone bought 174,000 puts on Palantir. Like, there's got to be something deeper if that is the reason for why they're going against Palantir. So I think there's got to be something else going on, and I'll try to get more details on that going into the future. Nvidia. So we've been talking about Nvidia for the past couple of days in the context of OpenAI. Here's what Mr. Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI, says today. We are getting things under control, but you should expect new releases from OpenAI to be delayed, stuff to break, and for your services to sometimes be slow as we deal with capacity challenges, aka We don't have enough NVIDIA GPUs. Then the second tweet under this is, we're working as fast as we can to really get stuff humming. If anyone has GPU capacity in the tunes of 100,000 chunks of GPUs that we can get ASAP, please call. I mean, like, what's going on here, bro? Like, like, at what point does the market not realize, yeah, there is a lot of momentum in the context of GPUs or in the context of at least AI, which is going to lead to more demand for GPUs. And the fact that NVIDIA is begging anyone that has access to 100,000 GPUs, yeah, that to me is more bullish than not in the context of what's going on for NVIDIA. Roy posted these couple headlines that I thought were also interesting as well. DeepSeek AI drives unprecedented demand for NVIDIA China-specific chips. That came out 14 hours ago. An NVIDIA chip shortage is coming, warns major Chinese server maker. That came out 4 days ago. The H20 chip faces supply crunch in China amid soaring demand. That came out 3 days ago. And then you also had Grok come out over the weekend and say, hey, we are also experiencing a lack of supply. And then our services are going down because of that, since we don't have enough GPUs inside of the overall GPU cluster. So yeah, as Martin says right there, it's a modern day arms race. The market is obviously very afraid about the sentiment when it comes to Mag 7, sort of these large cap tech stocks. Obviously that has not been the trade in the first 3 months of the year. But I mean, just there's more evidence every single day that AI is just beginning and GPUs are probably going to be at the epicenter, aka NVIDIA. And if that's the case, then NVIDIA is likely cheap. 109.98 on NVIDIA. That's up 1.49% on the day. It bottomed at 106.47 on the day, just crossing 110 as we get into the final 2 minutes of the day. Look at CoreWeave. So that NVIDIA OpenAI headline might be another reason why CoreWeave, which is a reseller of GPUs, is getting the 40% bump on the day. Maybe this is kind of a delayed reaction to what they expected to happen on IPO, and that's what's leading this momentum. Again, we've got Doomsday tomorrow at 4 p.m. By the way, it's happening at 4 p.m. right at market close. Probably gonna happen at 4:30, where Trump at the Rose Garden announces everything. It is very weird to not only see the broader market go green in the face of the uncertainty that we're getting. Yes, I know it could also be priced in, but still, the fact that people have this risk-on appetite a day before is interesting. CoreWeave up 42% is also very interesting. And then Newsmax up 185% before April 2nd is also pretty damn interesting. So this is the state of the stock market right now. And tomorrow is going to be make or break for when it comes to tariffs. We have some other tariff headlines that we'll talk about in a second, but that is the current state of the equity markets as we get into these final 24 hours before all is revealed when it comes to April 2nd. SMCI right here up 2.25%. Reddit's up 5%. Berkshire Hathaway's flat on the day. Meta 585. That's up 1.65%. Google up 1.62%. Again, the S&P 500 looks like we're going to close green, up 0.3%. Netflix down about 0.5% on the day. Affirm is up about 0.61%. And then again, Newsmax, the biggest stock of the day, up 176%. Yeah, there's a new ticker called WTF as well. What? Waitin Financial Limited. Oh my goodness, dude. Okay, I knew there was a new ticker called WTF. I didn't actually pull it up. This thing is up 370%. I didn't even know they just IPO'd. I guess they did. Like, some of these smaller IPOs are going under the radar. Market cap is only 813 million though. So this is definitely a small, that's why it was under the radar. This is a very, very small cap. And the only reason it's close to $1 billion is because of the surge today. But I guess the IPO market is fresh and hot, and a lot of these companies are getting some momentum. Tuesday, April 1st, 4 p.m., the stock market is now closed. All right, there we go. Ending out the market. We are closed for today. What does Waitin Financial Limited even do? What is this company? They're a new company, IPO, WTF.US. I wonder how much they paid for that domain name. Is this? Yeah, this is the. What is this, bro? Holy, hold on. Look at this website, dude. What is this? What is this? Hello there. I'm Detoni, the digital twin of Kai Zhao, a tech enthusiast with a passion for finance and AI ethics. How can I assist you today? Bro, what is this? Waitin Finance Limited? I am so confused. I have no idea what it is. About WTF, okay? Founded in 1989, we are an integrated securities broker in the Hong Kong financial services industry. What? We are sending Hong Kong financial brokers that are listing on the NASDAQ up 400% in a day, but NVIDIA is trading at 23 times earnings. What is happening? I'm just really curious. And it's up 7% after hours. What is actually happening? Like, seriously, what the hell is happening? Yeah, WTF is a great name for this. I'm not saying it's a scam. I don't know anything about the company. I'm just saying on first impression, it's a Hong Kong financial broker. Why is that up 400%? I mean, this is just absolutely incredible. Palantir ends the day up about 0.3%. Nvidia up 1.6. You had AMD up 0.04. That was basically flat on the day. Tesla, really bad sales in Denmark, Sweden, France, and Spain. However, China was their best month of the year in March, and Italy actually showed some progress for Teslas. So in some European countries, it wasn't the best, but in Italy, they actually showed a net increase year over year, which is good. We get the delivery numbers tomorrow. That's going to be very, very important to see kind of how that plays out. But Italy was one of the countries today, along with China, where we actually saw some momentum, whereas the other European nations were not the best. Yeah, Netherlands also was not the best. Today, that number came out. Robinhood right here up 1.3% of the day. Celsius up about 0.3%. MicroStrategy was up 6%. Verizon was flat on the day. PayPal, they did get upgraded by Bernstein. They're up 1.3%. Apple up 0.48, 223. Bitcoin, 84.9. Wow. Didn't even see Bitcoin all day. That's probably why MicroStrategy is up 6%. Bitcoin trying to make its way back to 85,000. And then Meta right here at 587 on the day. Microsoft was also green, I believe. Yep, that was up about 1.8%. And then Nvidia ended off the day up 1.16 at 110.15. A wild, wild market, bro. And of course, it's happening on April Fools. But Newsmax is now bigger than Fox, even they do 150 million in revenue, worth 32 billion. CoreWeave's up 40%, which, yeah, you could say that's justified, but that is kind of weird given all the suspicions around CoreWeave happening in a day for that type of surge. And WTF, which is a Hong Kong financial broker, is up 400%. And again, is this bearish? Kind of, yeah, because why is Nvidia trading at these levels, but these stocks are so elevated? Is it kind of a rejection of like companies that are growing and have good balance sheets for this like meme stock nonsense, which eventually will die out? Or is it bullish because there is so much risk on appetite, which doesn't make sense given the volatility we've been living in over the past couple of weeks, where these stocks that are absolutely not deserving of their current valuations right now, I think we can all agree on that, decides to pump 2,000% in less than 48 hours, 300% in less than 5 hours. Like, it's weird. It's very, very weird. Yeah, now people can at least hate on Newsmax instead of Palantir. You can say Palantir is expensive, but it's not as expensive as Newsmax. That's a different one. That is a different one. So it is kind of weird to kind of see how this is all playing out. But nonetheless, this is the nature of the current markets that we're at right now. Let's get an update on tariffs. So the White House press secretary, Karoline Leavitt, had a bunch of different things to say around tariffs today. So this is what she said in a briefing with reporters. But before we get to that, let me just take a sip of some water. It's really good water, dude. It's not bad at all. So I'm just going to leave this in the background so everyone can see my water. All right. This is what Karoline Leavitt said today.
Steve.
Has the president fully made up his mind on the level of tariffs to impose tomorrow? We keep hearing about a 20% flat rate.
The president said last night he has made a decision and a determination. I was with him in the Oval Office earlier, and he is going to announce that decision tomorrow. I don't want to get ahead of the president. This is obviously a very big day. He's with his trade and tariff team right now, perfecting it to make sure this is a perfect deal for the American people and the American worker. And you will all find out in about 24 hours from now.
And are the car tariffs going to go into effect on April 3rd as scheduled?
Correct. Yes, they will.
Okay. And last thing, would you like to respond to the Chinese military drills around Taiwan?
And here's another thing she said about tariffs today.
Companies the lowest taxes, energy costs, regulations, if they make their products right here in the United States and hire American workers for the job. It's simple. If you make your product in America, you will pay no tariffs. We have already seen a number of the largest companies in the world respond to this economic approach. For example, Project Stargate, led by Japan-based SoftBank and US-based OpenAI, and Oracle, announced a $500 billion private investment in the United States-based artificial intelligence infrastructure. Apple announced a $500 billion investment in US manufacturing and training. Nvidia announced it will invest hundreds of billions of dollars, $1 billion investment in US-based chips and manufacturing. These are just a few of the investment announcements that have already been made, and it is clear that President Trump's America First approach is already working.
So the America First approach on all these investments that the administration has got promises on by the SoftBanks of the world, the Nvidias of the world, not the Nvidias of the world, and different companies like TSM. I think that's going to be the highlight of the presentation tomorrow. I'll have a lot more to say about this tomorrow as we get closer to the date, but I think that they're going to be highlighting all these new investments they got to come to the United States because of the threat of tariffs. And then I think they're going to unveil a reciprocal 20% tariff across the entire board. The question is going to be how nuanced is that? Are Mexico and Canada going to get more months? Are certain industries like autos and semis and pharmaceuticals going to get a little bit of a break based on everything I was reading this morning? It doesn't seem like that's the case. It seems like it is truly going to be universal. But again, I think they're going to soften the blow by saying, hey, we're getting all these investments because we're threatening with these tariffs. And as a result, there should be a better chance than not that the tariffs end up being effective. And here's an update right here. Last update before we get into Technical Tuesday on tariffs. Technically, the tariffs did work today in a way that some people might not have expected. Israel has nixed all their U.S. import tariffs a day before the April 2nd reciprocal tariffs are ready to go live. So the finance minister on Tuesday signed a directive to scrap all remaining tariffs on imports from the U.S. with immediate effect in an apparent attempt to win a reprieve from the Trump administration's levy of reciprocal duties expected to be announced on Wednesday. I confirmed with a bunch of different sources. This is from the Times of Israel. The White House also said this as well. I'll put the article right here if anyone wants to read further into it. But Israel will leave some tariffs on United States goods because of the agreement they signed back in 1985. But the incoming imports on a variety of different agricultural goods are going to be nixed in the context of the tariffs that we were imposing on them. So, yeah, I mean, it is an easy win, and it is 0.3% of our trade. And it's one of those things that you would expect Israel, given the amount of money we've given them, probably would have given Trump this type of a win by saying, all right, we're going to, give you the political capital and be able to say, hey, we're not going to be imposing these many tariffs. And that's kind of the first domino to fall, at least one of the first dominoes that Trump wants to see fall across the entire world of countries eliminating their tariffs on the external things that we import from them. But tomorrow, we're going to really get clarity on if that plays out. And then obviously going into the future, we'll see if countries continue to follow with Israel. So that is the last tariff update I've got for you guys. Nothing else left to say until tomorrow, April 2nd, when we see what the administration's policy is going to be. But from what the press secretary says today, they're going to highlight the investments they got from all these new companies to the tunes of, I think, close to $5 trillion is the perceived number. They're going to highlight the reciprocal nature of the tariff. So they're really going to try to convince the American public that it's not us doing this. It's us being forced to do this because of what other countries have imposed on us. And then they're going to talk about some of these negotiations they've been able to get done, like countries like Israel basically saying, hey, we are going to get rid of all of our external tariffs on imports to be able to acquiesce to what Trump is trying to say. And that's it. April 2nd, tomorrow. We will see how this plays out. All right, let's get into Technical Tuesday. We got a lot of stocks to look at, a lot of key levels and indicators to see if this market is doing another dead cat bounce or if we are moving in the right direction. Let's roll the intro.
What's up, buddy? We made it. Happy Tuesday.
Dude, I'm so hydrated today.
You're
I'm so
sweet,
hydrated.
dude.
So hydrated.
You got if I had some bananas here, I would throw them through the screen at you.
It's really good stuff, man. They put crack in this or something. It's good water, dude. I like
That's
it.
legit. But I don't think that's how you're supposed to use it.
How am I supposed to use it?
You're supposed to put in a I mean, where's that?
Look, this was expensive. I don't have enough of those, okay? I'm not like that guy who has millions of dollars to fucking put the, yeah.
The guy buys Saratoga bottled water and says this was expensive.
Dude, I went to ShopRite, which is a local grocery place in Jersey. This was like on the front. Like they are like I don't know how much they paid him, if they did pay him, but this brand is alive again.
Did they pay him?
I've heard some things that they said yes. I heard other things that happened organically. I don't know, but
is it a stock? Is it publicly traded?
I think there's a holding company that owns them.
There you go.
So yeah, there might be a world to get exposed. Oh yeah, no, Saratoga Investment Corp. It's up 5% this year. $360 million market cap. It's a small company. If this is the right one, this might be the wrong one, but
Well, if they don't work, then maybe we could try Chiquita for the bananas.
yeah,
Or Dole is a ticker. I know that one.
No, he's so right. Amit's gonna do it all Indian zoos and just refill that bottom. Okay, it's not gonna be from the tap. It's not gonna be from the tap. Okay,
It's not even actually Saratoga water.
I don't drink tap water, but I never have to buy another one of these because I can refill it every day. So there you go.
I mean, Brita.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Let's get started with the S&P, but also Jason, we were at 576. We went to 546. What the hell do you think is happening in this market?
It's, how do I say this? Kind of price discovery. I think the market hates uncertainty. We were in for a really good dead cat bounce, and then they pulled the plug early, like Thursday, Friday or something. At the index level, it was sad. It was we were about halfway there, and the market got like sketched out or whatever, and it is what
they got scared because of tariffs, right? That's what scared them.
They got scared because of tariffs, yeah. And do you want me to share my screen?
Yeah, we'll start with the S&P and then we'll go from there. We'll be on, guys, for like the next 3 hours. We will get all the major sort of tickers out of the way: Nvidia, Tesla, Palantir, Hood, etc. And then we'll get into all the other tickers that you guys have.
So I'm just going to start at the weekly, right? So this is where we were last week. We were going a little bit higher. This was like the old level, if you will. This is what I have do or die. That's actually exactly where we got up to, literally right there. And it just failed. Like it was a really sad failure. I was hoping that we would get up to this 590 type area. It's still possible. But for that thesis to have held at that point in time, this entry, this was 569. So not last week, but the week before. I think this is what we were talking about on Tuesday and Monday on my streams, was that if we were over 569, basically over the 2 weeks ago high, then we would have been good, right? And we were good. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop down to a smaller time frame really quick and show you what that looks like. So if this was the high, we were good 1 day, 2 days, and then the following day, this is that level 569 again.
Yeah,
it's like, all right, this is Wednesday. I'm like, okay, could this be a retest? And then Wednesday we closed on the lows, or Thursday we closed on the lows, and Friday they pulled the rug. And what that takes you to is what we call like an outside week. I'm going to move this off the screen for a little bit. So an outside week is essentially, if this is that prior week's candle high and low, we actually got a higher high and a lower low of that 1 week itself. And so when you get something like that, when you make from a week to week perspective or whatever, a higher high and a lower low, we've reviewed this concept in the past, but this is where you get what we call like a broadening formation, or we go into a price discovery mode. And you get this, it starts to become like what we would call like a megaphone or something like that. And what happens is that now, as long as there were two things. So if we couldn't recover 555 spot 07, that's last week's low. If we could not have recovered 555.07 this week, then we were definitively going to go lower, and that candle would essentially look like this in bright red. And that's technically what we would have been looking at. But because we are over this 555 level for now, and subsequently not last week, but the week before's 557 level, we can retrace essentially at least half of last week's range.
Right.
Which would actually take us to just about right in here, up to about 566, give or take. Right. And so that's a best case what we would be looking for. Realistically, it's probably 565. I'm going to take this down, and then I'm going to drop this into a daily time frame so you can see how this develops. So we were just looking at the weekly time frame, and now I have all these lines on my chart that we actually just drew. So we have our broad information. We can see that now. We can see the moment that we reclaimed last week's low is right here, 555. And that was yesterday. And so yesterday, even I can drop this down to a smaller time frame, and you can see how this reacts right here. This is Monday at the close. So if we were going to close Monday below 555, it would have been real ugly. But we closed just barely above. This morning, we came back and look at this. So came back and we tapped it basically to the penny right there. And we're kind of trying to make our way up to essentially that target area, which I was just talking about earlier.
Which is what, 569?
Yeah, 566. But look at this. So we look at this area here. This is going to be a lot of overhead resistance, 569.
Yeah.
And even if we get there, I'm like, who knows, right? Because at that point, that is, if we go back to the weekly, what is that line from? It's actually not last week, but the week before's high. So it becomes right in there. And then you have to go, my sentiment has really been, this is a day-to-day thing, minute to minute almost. And like in this market, in this moment, in this market, definitively, it's like, what's the analogy is like walking down the golf course in the middle of a storm, holding 2 lightning rods, and the tweet can come out at any minute and you can get like zapped. And that's what it's going to be like. So quite frankly, I actually think that I was talking a minute earlier. Honestly, the best bet is to just chill for a minute, and you don't have to press your bets all the time. It's like maybe let the dust settle a little bit. I don't need to catch bottoms or anything like that's not important. Because what happens here, quite like honestly, my actual bet right now is that nothing happens actually, and we go sideways for a while.
You're not bullish or bearish tomorrow.
No, I don't think that anything comes out tomorrow that's going to be like revolutionary or anything like that. And even if so, like, and I missed your tariff rant, but like, what is the market expecting that's going to happen tomorrow?
20% universal reciprocals is what I believe the market's expecting.
At what time?
Well, they'll go live April 3rd, but 4 p.m. it'll be announced.
Yeah, so 4 p.m. is whatever. But did they announce that already?
That's my point. I agree with you that it's kind of priced in because this was announced 2 days ago. And for the past 48 hours, nothing has changed that kind of core headline.
Yeah.
Around 20%.
And so where I'm going with this is that even if nothing actually changes, well, then nothing still changes. And I think the market still has to be on edge. And therefore, I actually think it comes down to Friday's non-farm payroll number and more about like whether or not this is going to be a stagflationary moment or not.
Does your gut tell you we're in stagflation or we could be in stagflation?
Well, we're not. It's for right now, it's a growth scare. Stagflation by definition would require rising unemployment, right? And so, and we don't have that. And that's why Friday's number becomes more significant because why today's number became a little bit more significant, the JOLTS number. So JOLTS is just job openings. It's not how many jobs were taken. And then, and unemployment rates and stuff like that. All that, the big stuff comes out this Friday, which is how many new jobs were taken. And so if there were in fact a lot more new jobs taken, then that does put like a lid on the stagflation like theme for a little bit, but it only kind of like pushes it out a ways, right? So it would still be looming because then the next thing they're going to do is they're going to be like, well, it's going to be dependent on earnings, because the whole thing about stagflation, if you haven't explained it to them yet, is basically like people having to spend more money without getting more things, if that makes sense, and at the same time making a little bit less money. And so right now we're not seeing people make less money, and the whole AI theme is like, well, it's going to drive efficiency. Well, does that the actual efficiency at the consumer end, that's going to take many years to show up. And in the meantime,
that's so correct. And we're not losing jobs. If you look at initial jobless claims for the past 5 months, it's been basically 220,000 a week.
Correct.
A recession is 350 to 375,000.
Correct. So then the question is, if we do have a slowdown in jobs, is it because AI is taking out existing jobs in the blue collar workforce, right? And so that's where it would show up, and that's not really going to hit NFP so much either.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a little bit of uncertainty, and why my legitimate thesis right now is like the key to survival is understanding how to milk premiums out of the market right now in both directions at the same time.
But you're not in the recession camp yet.
No, I don't have. What are you gonna trust the Atlanta Fed? Like, come on, dude. They should be fired, bro. Like, their forecasts are way out of line. Like, and they flip flop on themselves left and right. It's crazy.
For those that don't know what he's talking about, the Atlanta Fed, 3.8%.
So bad. Well, look at their forecasts. Like, they're all over the place, man. You can't trust them. Listen, friends, there's an old saying, right? Friends don't let friends forecast based on first revision GDP, dude. It's no good.
Yeah. Also, anyways, again, they're not taking into account imports here, so we could get a negative GDP number that's very small, but not 4%. That's aggressive,
dude. Anyways, so this is price discovery mode, which means that we could actually continue to see a series of higher highs and lower lows in the near term. And also why I'm very much in the camp of like, this is probably chop. So to the upside, and why I said last time, if you're in it for this like bear market bounce kind of technical setup, don't buy it if you don't know how to use the sell button, right? Like, because what could happen is Wednesday, right? And so even here, things are going to look good. This is, again, back to trappy. I still can, in reality, hit my 590 target. It's still in the cards as long as we're over just about 560. 560 is going to be the big deal level.
Why do you think we bounced at 546 yesterday? Do you have any technical reason for why?
I mean, technically it's a double bottom.
Well, yeah, basically. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So living back to
it was a new 2025 low, but it basically was a double bottom.
Yeah, it's very, very it's basically a double bottom. I mean, it was a 2025 low for like all of 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So this can end up looking like your double bottom, but it doesn't have to last. The trajectory here would be all the way up here. But when that happens, the problem is that like this setup also sets up for this at the same time. And if you haven't get off my, so this is a real thing. We've seen it more times than we can count. We've on this show, we've highlighted with whether it was SoFi or Meta or any other situation like this. It can look, this is trappy, right? This is the trappy moment. And at 560, there's a lot of pin action, if you will. So for us to close the day on SPY, I honestly, for a minute, I thought we were going to close at the index level completely unchanged. Like it was really close there for a minute. And I'm just like going back and forth. We're essentially back here, right? So back to this prior breakout. If we hold over 560, it's okay. But again, Friday's really going to change a lot of stuff. And for now, popping back up to that 20-day around 565 seems to be in the cards. But I don't think it would hold for more than a couple seconds. So you know.
But this is also going to look bad on the dude. If we get a bad jobs report, what is Trump going to say? How is he going to justify it?
Exactly. But even Friday itself, even Friday, it's like he'll pawn it off to something, right? Even Friday itself, like it's not about how Friday's price action looks. It's about how Monday absorbs Friday's price action.
Yeah.
So Friday can look crazy. And we see this very often, whereas the Friday can look absolutely horrendous. Friday can be a complete bloodbath. And Monday is possible that there's nothing but green. And the polar opposite is the same thing too. So when I say like, I have no problem sitting this out, I really have no problem. Like this is not the time to be placing bets. It's just not.
Yeah.
You know, because Friday also could look amazing, like bright green, not a single pullback in sight, and then Monday could be an absolute bloodbath. Yeah. That happens when we get these non-farm payroll like reports, like more often than you think. You have to go back and do the research, but hey, you got me because I have, and I'll tell you those are the statistics.
Okay, so can we move on to Tesla? And I want to open it up with this question.
We have to change the name of Tesla though to Tesla, is what we call it now.
Yeah, we have
Tesla.
That's true.
Tesla.
Tom Lee thinks we can have a face ripper rally and Tesla would lead it. Tesla would lead it. Did the technicals give you any indication that could happen?
So right now, Tesla is having a little bit of a break, right? I was like long here. And last time we talked, I said that Tesla was like one of the biggest trades out there from a technical perspective. And it was, but it lost the Momo, right? So it ran into the 200-day. It needed to hold that and break completely out because that bounce and your entry matters, right? So from 220 or whatever it was, to possibly 330 plus. I mean, that's a big move in stock alone. That's like a 50% rally. When I was saying that, and this is my entry rate from like 220s into 330s, that is a 50%. When we met last week, we were about halfway there. And this is just like the market, you know, it's taking a breather. So what I can say, this purple line, by the way, that's a 200-week simple moving average. You don't get that very often, is that these are now converging. I was hoping that it would get a little bit like faster movement, but it's not. So these are all going to converge. This can go sideways for a while and then make another move. But for right now, this is a wait and see. And as long as it's holding now about, it's a little bit lower, right? 248s. It's technically sound. Although we know that tomorrow we're going to get deliveries. Here's the thing about Tesla is that I think, you know, we know that deliveries are probably going to come in low, right? Does the market also know that? And will the deliveries have something in there that is better than feared? And if we have a better than feared reaction, then this could just carry on all the way up to the 330, which would be that 50-day simple moving average right here. That in itself would be a standard, typical Tesla dead cat bounce. If for whatever reason, in that same period of time, the market decides that it's not in a bear market and we're in for the April bounce into summer, then you could actually be seeing near fours at that point in time, but it's too early to say.
Which would be a face ripper if that happens.
Which would definitively be a face ripper. But again, why this is more like a wait and see? Because if you're wrong, then you're back to 200s. Or maybe, I don't think 200s is going to hold if it comes in to retest 200 is not going to be a big thing. It's going to be more like 175 because then the whole market's going to be dumping and the VIX is going to be back to 30 and you're going to overshoot your 200, which means it's going to be more like 175. Yeah. And by the way, WTF, bro.
Yeah, what's going on with this, bro? Did you trade this today? Make some money on it? I feel like you did. Oh, that smiles too. That's too.
I have one of our analysts is a stock trader, and I saw it list. I bought 50 shares. You can't see it.
Of course, you did it on Hoodie. I love it.
I did it on Hoodie because I was like, I'm just gonna tinker. I have my funny money on Hoodie. That's not going.
Well, so you're up what 200% on
not WTF? 200. No, I posted it when I saw it. I was like, dude, Dude, this is $24 right now.
WTF?
I got it at 9.
Oh, so you're up 3 at no 2, yeah, about 2.5x. It's up 20% after hours. This is
Hey, if there was gonna be a meme go down, the ticker would be called WTF, right?
oh, you're right.
Like, hello.
Okay, but hold on. But before you get into this, why do you think this is like? Is this scary? That
this is scary. So if you remember, I never remember how long you've been trading on, but GME, AMC.
I was around during then, but I didn't really trade them. But obviously,
They also signaled the beginning of the end.
Oh,
so
shit,
when those
right? No, you're right.
So that's that's where I'm going. So they also signaled the beginning and the end, because it's like you don't trust the mega caps, and then you have these little shenanigan things flying all over the place, and it's like you see that easy money. It's like, ooh, I need it, I want it, I'm gonna chase it, and then the money leaves the big dogs. Like retail money just flows into them.
Well, people get insane levels of FOMO if they miss a 20x in a day.
Right. So it's very weird. It's not weird. Like, I get it, and I've seen this. I've seen this movie more times than I can count. But yeah, it is $25 right now. But you know, this thing is gonna open at $100, bro. I'm just saying.
Do you think it's happening because of boredom in the stock market, or
so that's part of it? Like, it's like, okay, this stuff happens because people are bored. Like, it really does. And they know what happens with IPOs is that with IPOs specifically, it's kind of easier because you know that there's a lockup period, right? And that they can't, like, you can't, if you invested in the CoreWeave IPO, you can't just sell it. Like, you could sell it, but you're gonna get hit with the penalty.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I am long CoreWeave, almost because of that dynamic itself. I posted something today. The CoreWeave options started trading today live, and I took one look at them, and I swear, like, the poor market maker, whatever market maker had like been assigned CoreWeave today, I feel bad for that guy. Somebody's getting fired today, man, because they screwed up that option chain and they were way underpriced. But I saw that and we're like, well, I'm taking advantage. Like,
okay, so it's boredom, but eventually you think this is going to crash and burn over the next.
Yeah. But who knows how long it could last, right? Like, how long did GME, AMC last, right? Speaking of, like, this was a big gapper today. I don't know if there's still the love. I haven't even looked at like, there's no love here, man.
Yeah, they moved on from GameStop and AMC. They went to Newsmax and WTF.
Dude, I can't believe this. Newsmax is just insane. But remember ARM, right? ARM did all this stuff like back in the day. It's the same kind of thing, right?
Yep.
Where it's like, okay, there's this moment, but when you break out of that initial IPO price, which CoreWeave just did, and I know it's not something I would want to own, but like when you break out, it's like boom, she can go.
Right. Okay, so to finish up on Tesla, basically you're not doing anything on this one.
Tesla, I'm long Tesla stock. All right, I'm gonna go back to Tesla because we can't keep it up. But I'm long Tesla. I closed my Tesla options. So if we didn't have Liberation Day tomorrow, and if we didn't have non-farm payrolls on Friday, I would be long a lot of stuff right now. I did buy Nvidia equity today. I also bought Microsoft equity today.
Why? Why was it technical? Was it
right? But no.
Was it just like in general?
No, because like which one, Nvidia or Microsoft?
Or both. Like, are you just like, hey, these prices are getting cheap, I'm gonna do my regular DCA, or why?
Yeah, I mean, Microsoft was an actual breach of the low, right? Which here it was just, I don't know that it's gonna hold, but this was my area here. I actually bought some Amazon too. But so like this was that Microsoft area. It had kind of come in. Can it go lower? For sure. But the second I saw it going up over 375, I'm like, all right, we have earnings coming. It's gonna bounce. Can it be choppy? Yeah. In this market, I'm not putting a whole lot of money to work. I'll tell you that much, because I don't know that I can trust like
By the way, let's just transition to Nvidia because we're done with Tesla now. So we'll do it.
Yeah, I did. So here's Nvidia. It's similar, and you're just like basically just barely breaching that last low. So whenever I see something like this, I look at things as like, are they potential, we'll call it like liquidity grabs. And so last time we said, when it was at 120, I was like, if it's even close to 115, you didn't want this long options. And so I ended up closing them pretty much like right away. I was in for like a day, and then closed them here. Or was it here? I don't know. One of these 2 days when it lost this little area right there.
Yeah, I hit 103, which was the new low for the year, and that was it.
Yeah, but when you see something like this, like it looks really ugly early. And this was yesterday. I didn't buy it yesterday. I guess you could have bought it yesterday. I thought about it, but I didn't. You know, you just have this small little sweep of the lows right here, and it instantly bounces. So that day I know, okay, well, it's not going down. And then today, this was yesterday's high. It's the same kind of thing. The second that I see it really like going back over yesterday's high, 108s, I'm like, all right. But I bought this.
Do you think she's going below 100?
I think it's totally possible.
I agree. It just feels like you got to take
like 107, 108, right? When I saw these little wicks or whatever.
It feels like even if you think it goes below 100, you take a stab at 107, 109.
Exactly. Yeah. Sorry. Like this thing could go to freaking 75 for all I know. Easily. The semis as a sector are just so down and out. It's gross, right? Like, but today I was watching very closely as the day was progressing. The thing about right now is like, okay, so I was looking at it. I'm like, the bulls had control in the morning, right? And then the bears like slowed down as we're going throughout the day. And I'll use a day trading chart. So here's a day trading chart. Same levels that we drew earlier today. And so as the day is progressing, just on a smaller time frame, it looks decent, but I'm looking at this is that pre-market level. Look, we're not over it. As we start to break down, this here ends up being, I think it's last week's low, right? So this is that level right here, 555. And I'm watching it. I'm watching them come in, and I'm like, bulls need to step up. But as it's going at 555, and I'll just slow this replay down a little bit. I'm like, the bears, all of this during this moment, and I'll even go smaller because I will. Like this minute, literally from 10 a.m. to, I don't know, 10:30 Eastern, this is the opportunity that the bears had to absolutely demolish the market. And I'm watching this, I'm like, it's kind of going down, but it's not like what should have happened. What could have happened is that we could have gone all the way back down to the 550s, right? And breached these red dots. That's an average daily range. So a move like this today would have been actually plausible within an average range. But the second that the bears like couldn't push it down, I'm like, okay, for now, for today, the bears didn't have enough fight in them to continue to press it down. Once we start reclaiming that pre-market range, pre-market low, we cannot, this is the last week's low. We cannot get below last week's. So again, therefore, you have to go higher before you can go lower, if nothing else, right? And that's kind of what happened.
And you think that's kind of the same thing about Nvidia and what it's dealing with right now?
Yeah, exactly.
Got it.
So anyway, if you're a day trader, you know how like you're thinking, we just did the high level, like high time frame technicals. When you're trading, you actually take those same concepts and you zoom it in to a very small like window. This is a 1 minute chart. So I can see it live as it's happening. I don't have to guess. I'm watching it happen. And so like you know, it's pretty instant reaction. Again, I'm doing this all day, every day. So it's maybe seems easier, but the bears had every opportunity to absolutely wreck this market this morning at 10 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
And the fact that they either, I don't even know that I want to say that there were enough bulls to jump in, because it's not even that. It's just that like they were hesitant and they didn't pull the trigger and there wasn't enough, right? And so that's where we are when we close towards the highs.
Okay,
So again, I think there's potential for, you know, maybe better than feared scenarios. Nvidia is all similar, right? It's all similar. Nvidia, to me, I actually took Nvidia upside today as a trade also. Again, just because like I'm looking at this, I'm like, look, this one is probably one that's like down and out, almost the most. I'm not exactly the most, but I feel like I don't have to risk as much on Nvidia because I'm gonna know real fast when I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, and like my stop loss, if you will, from a trading perspective, is very tight. Right. So I like this upside here being basically today's low as your stop. And then moving that forward. You could kind of just trail it out as you go. But because I have a hard time trusting very much in general here. And even if I have to buy things a lot higher, I'm okay with that, right?
Yeah, you have more peace of mind.
Amazon. So this 188.65. This is 2021 all-time high. That red line. Again, another one I bought today. It's because of that, right? We have that wick down below holding today. I'm not buying on this day, by the way. I'm not buying this 185. I'm buying like the day after. So I have a better sense of like maybe it has a bit of a bounce. That's from here. This is 2021 retest.
Which is so important because if you buy it at 185 and then it drops to 170, you're going to be
I'm not
mad.
buying it at 185. Yeah. No, I'm buying it higher.
If you wait till 191 and get confirmation, even if you're paying $6 extra, you have a better understanding of it.
Yeah. And then I can literally put a stop at 185 or whatever. And define a risk to my potential trade. Google's the same. 2021 all-time high tests. Like this is to the penny test yesterday at the open, and then a similar carrying on higher today, right? So this is yesterday's high right here on Google. This is today's trade. This morning, as we're going up through it, I'm like, okay, well, it's not going down anymore. Does that mean that we're going up? No, right? Like, but can I get to 170? This was Tuesday or whatever. I feel bad. Wednesday. So I'm like, I told Amit, you guys might have missed it because it was in the morning that we did show. I told Amit, I was like, dude, this thing is at 175. It could slap, right? And it hit like 171 and then got slapped. It did not slap, but it got slapped. So that's where hopefully you pulled in some credit if you rolled it.
I just left it and
oh good. So he doesn't listen to me, you guys, just so you know.
No, because it was at 170 and you need to go to 175. I'm like, that's a healthy gain. I don't know if it's
there you go. That's cool. So like Google looks constructive. Everything looks constructive, but it's so springy. Have you been talking to them about your RSI indicator at all lately?
What is my RSI?
I don't know. I'm just like, what you're going to hear is you're going to hear a lot of people talking about how oversold the market is, right? And if Amit hasn't yet, you guys know I hate that.
You hate that term, yeah.
I hate that term. But what I can tell you after decades of more than a decade of trading is that you can get your face ripped off if you're short in this type of environment. Being yes, it is oversold to an extent, but like the bounces intraday, look, they're violent, right? And so that's the kind of stuff. If you're short here, this is what I'm talking about. If you're short here on SPY, this is a bounce in an oversold market. Like that's a bounce. And yes, it pulls back a lot, but like, again, the bounce is so quick with so much velocity. It's like, oh crap, get out the way. Right. And so you end up over trading a lot in those kind of scenarios, which is why I would much rather just let things settle out, or like I am actively doing is selling. I'm doing iron condors right now. So yeah, Alex knows.
Okay, can we go
ban
to,
from the chat?
can we go to Palantir? And
Yeah.
while you're pulling that up, I'm going to share the tweet you had today.
Oh.
And I want to get your professional options opinion on why you think there are so many puts open on Palantir.
It is a bit of a squeezy setup here, and right now it is downside squeezy. Can you enlarge that picture?
Yep.
So what I did is I circled. So this is what expiration? This is April 25th. This is no April 17th. Is it April 17th?
No, I think it's 25th.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a very weird expiration or very weird series. It is April 25th expiration. This is over $10 million of option premium spent. So I can confirm bought on my end. But that's over $10 million traded. I cannot say if it's spent. So tomorrow, this is what's crucial, since it's good that we're doing this after hours today. So what you want to do is that so open that screenshot again, or if you don't, just maybe drop the link. If you go to this series, which is April 25th, tomorrow. Now that I've posted a screenshot and now that you guys see it, what volume means on an options chain is that's how many contracts were traded in and out today. So you can't really tell, like you can tell that, okay, it's very liquid. It's more about tomorrow. If tomorrow's open interest, so see that number next to it where it says 24,000.
Yeah.
So if tomorrow's open interest shows something like, I don't know, 150,000 or something really wild, then we know they're still holding it. If it shows like 50,000 open interest, it's not really that big of a deal anymore. So I would take that mental note today as like, okay, this is highly unusual. This is one of the most unusual orders that I've seen in a very long time. It's not a single trader order. It's a lot of follow, like a lot of follow. I can tell you that, the orders that were coming through were in the 4,000 and 5,000 lots. So they were buying 4,000 to 5,000 at a time. It's a ridiculous strike. But it's very precise. This is like someone putting a hard line in the sand. I almost feel like it's retail, like trading it. Because it's not something you would normally see.
And it's before earnings, which is also weird, right?
Well, that's not that weird, right? So because it's before earnings, like that actually makes sense. Because again, Palantir is very high, right? We've seen, here's before earnings, Palantir, right? Before earnings coming down, right? With earnings here.
Yeah.
This is not out of the norm, right? Because they're like, are they going to continue it, right? And you also have like your CROs, like chief revenue officer selling today or something. You got freaking
sold yesterday. Yeah.
You got freaking, Cohen fucking offloading left and right.
You do have a lot of insider selling. That is correct. Yeah.
Yeah. And the setup is squeezy, right? Squeezy in terms of like, we know that the 50 and the 20 are very tight. The 200 is over here. All that it would take is like a little blip on this radar. You technically do have a bear flag breakdown already, right? So bear flag is here. So this is your pull, this is your pop up, and this is that breakdown. Now the extension of that comes right into this area, which is where Palantir just skated through today, but it's here, right? And so this is that general area that they're looking for potentially this kind of to trade into, which is to 70. And at that point, 60 is going to line up with your 200-day simple moving average. So the strike price, I'm telling you, you just need to dump that on your head
Dude, I'm about to pee so badly in the next 10 minutes, bro.
You got to finish that. Just drop the bottle down and just like raise your shoulders up a little bit. We know you got it, right?
I feel cooler.
Don't make a
drinking
mess.
Like I'm gonna be drinking on this every day now. It just feels cool. Like
Yeah,
it's like a bottle of beer, to be honest.
I don't drink, but I mean, have you ever had these non-alcoholic Heinekens?
Oh, I know a lot about non-alcoholic. I'll tell you.
Yeah. There's this Heineken makes this non-alcoholic beer. It tastes like beer. It's wild. But anyways, is it like is trajectory to $60 in the cards on Palantir? It actually is. And I can look at this and I could be like, okay, that's one hell of an insurance like policy.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the timing is good. If I wanted to buy a protective put, I don't know that I don't necessarily want to nail the price, but Palantir's option, like volatility, it's not expensive right now. It's not cheap, but it's not really expensive. And if it does start to go down, what's gonna get expensive? So I wouldn't even mind buying those if I was like a decent amount of them. If I was a large Palantir shareholder as insurance, it kind of made sense to me. So I think it's one of those bets where like, okay, the setup, it's possible. There's no confirmation that that's happening. None whatsoever. Just to be crystal clear, there's nothing in the charts that's telling me this is happening now. It is telling me, the charts do tell me that it is possible that it happens. But I got to go one level at a time. And as long as it's over $78 or $80, it's not in the cards.
Yeah.
But if I wanted some insurance, that's the cheapest bet out there. Quite frankly, it was the cheapest bet out there that I could see that would be somewhat feasible. It's not going to hedge. The thing is that it's not going to hedge real equity holders. It's more of like someone's taking the shot.
Yeah.
And it looks like retail to me, even though it's 10 million of orders, like it doesn't look like, unless the only other thing could be is like some short seller getting ready to drop some nasty article, right? Like that's also what it looks like it could be.
Yeah, because there's other better ways to hedge equity than just a straight 60 put, right?
Yeah, there is. But you know, with something like Palantir, it's the same thing. Like I don't know that you really want to sell a lot of Palantir different. Palantir, it's already up here. I'm thinking versus Hood. I don't want to sell those $40 cover calls. I don't care what Amit says, right? Like I don't want to do it. If you ask me about selling $100 cover calls or something that's going to give me some meat on the bones, sure, right? But the income strategy, not so much. Like what with this, I would have no problem again, maybe going out to those January $100 calls, maybe even higher, selling some of those, and with a portion of those profits, maybe buying some like near dated puts for free as a way to hedge. That's called a collar, right? Like you would do a costless collar, but I would stagger the expirations.
Is there a Head and Shoulders on Palantir right here?
No, not really. It's if this was a Head and Shoulders, it also could be a cup and handle, right? So like big cup.
Those don't look. Those.
What is that? That's not the right one. But like
this is a family show, sir. You are a father, okay?
Bro, I don't know what happened, dude. Sometimes when I draw these lines, especially on these, when I start talking about these moving averages and wanting to get them like really tight, like I might draw something and it looks like this, and like this is going to come up, and I'd say that like it's going to come in really tight right there, and it doesn't. It looks kind of graphic sometimes, but anyways, did you see it? I was
speaking of cup and handles. Hooters just went bankrupt, folks. So
wow,
Jason's drawings to see things.
Is a butt technically good? It's only no, because you need to have those two little dimples. Like you have to have a dimple here and like a little dimple here, and then you could see like, okay, it's a little bit, I don't know. But yeah, no, so it's not, this is not textbook anything. It's more consolidation. like I do see, okay, this was that area right here that you kind of broke down on. This looks more like consolidation, but you know, the range that Palantir is consolidating in, even if you got to that $60 level, I mean, it looks fine. This looks like it's going to be I guess you could call it head and shoulders. This is more, yeah, I don't know that I would, it's just more breakdown. Like, yeah, you got to be real. It doesn't look great. The thing is, I almost would rather it be a head and shoulders because you know why I hate patterns, right? The guys don't know.
You said this reason before, but I forgot. What's the
Well, it's because they're so time frame dependent, right? And then the worst part is like the most bullish patterns are when the most bearish patterns fail. Like,
Yeah.
what is that, right? Like when you have a giant head and shoulders that fails, it's ultra bullish, right? Because everybody was super short, and you're like, haha, I got you. But
yeah, and if it gets in your eyes and you have no conditioner, the head and shoulders just
absolutely none, dude. It's all
ruins
bad.
the whole, you know.
All
All right, can we go to hoodie, and can I get your reaction to the gold event? What did you think?
The gold event. Oh, I mean, I was wondering why they didn't sit you and Evan together. Is it because, or like, and Gav, like, well, how come you three had to be on like one side?
There wasn't any actual set. They just chose to like sit in the other area.
You guys aren't really friends.
Dude, no, we're on the phone today. By the way, I'll be having Tom Lee on the show tomorrow with Evan, so that'll be great.
Oh, are you guys? I saw that and I was like, okay, Tom Lee's coming with Evan. Is Evan going to do a face reveal for you?
No, he's not doing a face reveal, but it'll be on audio spaces.
Okay, yeah, Tom Lee's coming. I wasn't sure if you're going to do that. I thought it was Evan's. Okay, cool. Well, congrats, dude. That's a big guest. That's a big one.
Yeah, it'll be fun. We'll get to ask him about this, and that's right after the freaking tariffs, so it'll be.
Okay, so you want to know my reaction to Hood? Initial reaction is great, love it, right? Real reaction, which part?
I mean, just like Cortex banking, they introduced a bunch of stuff. Like,
okay,
do you think any of it moves the needle?
The Nvidia trade was legit, right?
The options thing that they showed, yeah, that was cool.
I could do it, right? But having it easily accessible for you guys, like right there, that trade was the Cortex Nvidia trade that they set up was actually pretty perfect, quite frankly.
It's really cool. It's really cool
for swing traders.
I guess banking is the main question. I mean, do you think that's a needle mover for the
we have private a private banker. We have private bankers. So what I can tell you guys is that so for me, I can look at it and I can be like, that's freaking nasty cheap. It's nasty cheap, but it's not gonna move our funds at all.
Yeah.
Right. And I'll give you a couple of examples. Like when you have a private banker, people don't necessarily understand how much work that they do. Like, they will call. I don't manage like my mom's money, right? But like for people in the family, they'll call them and be like, "Did you remember to pay the water bill?" Right? Or
wow, that's
it's true, right? And everybody
knows
knows
AI can replace that though, low key, to be honest.
No, they can't, dude. Right?
Like, why can't it send a notification? Hey, pay the water bill. Like,
because mom will call the guy and he'll personally pick up, right? And she knows him and she has a relationship with them, right? And even if they move, there's a physical office that they can show up to and get like some help. And if they're not in, then they know everybody else. It's like they do put in a lot of work. So it's not going to get that over, right? But the fees are damn, like that is another disruptor for sure. So what I do think is true is that they will easily take over anybody that's currently using those robo-advisors, right? If anybody's using 401ks, IRAs, that kind of, or Roths, things like that in a robo-advisor type of fashion that's not using private banking, you're going to get that. I think you're going to get that pretty quickly. And I think that the first iteration of this generational wealth transfer that he did mention on the event, that's really actually going to go to Gen X first. Gen X is not on Robinhood, right? Not really, right? So Gen X is going to be the first beneficiaries of this wealth transfer, and then millennials after that, right? So you might have some millennials on Robinhood, but Gen X is going to get it first. It's more about going after eventually a Goldman Sachs or a JP Morgan or Morgan Stanley, right? And I think that this is one step in that direction. What I can see easily is that, like, as they get to, like, this is like in reality, I think it's more of like a 10-year thing, right? Like this wealth transfer is going to happen over the next 10 plus years. So it's not like a short-term event, but it is about Robinhood positioning themselves to actually capture a lot of this. And again, you know, like having a personal banker, like I can tell you, like, first of all, like it's a person, right? It's having a dedicated rep and being able to have someone to call. It's about a relationship, not like a robo thing. But if you are using robo advisors, for sure, I think they get it.
Okay, so then in the context of the stock, obviously we pumped that day, but then we got hit because of macro. Where do you see the?
I mean, it might have been macro, might have been crypto, to your crypto thesis.
Yeah.
So it's this 44 level here. So where we're hitting our head, like where we have been hitting our head on, I say I have to be very careful. So I'm not a financial advisor, and there is no we. So, but where the stock is hitting its head on is right here, right? It broke out. This was a big breakout. What I wanted to see, what I would have really liked to see, is an instant bounce, but I didn't get that. What I got was another little bit of a breakdown, and now we're kind of heading back into it. This is our bounce level, which happens to be, if I retrace this, my guess is being just about a perfect fib retracement from that swing low to swing high is right in here, right? And so that kind of puts us squarely in the middle of this range. If I draw it over, it's good. I don't think it's in breakout territory. And if it does, like the breakout's over 45. It's over 45. And the problem is here is that if we do get over 45, we must, and I mean, I keep saying we, I'm sorry. It must get over that 50-day on that press. It must, or you are very much at risk of breaking through that 45 only to lock in a lower high.
Yeah. No.
And potentially be a short. So this is what I mean. Like, it all looks good, but if you're buying right here, right now, and you don't know how to use the sell button, be very careful, right? So I remain cautiously optimistic here. I have a lot of cash. I really would have loved to gotten a shot deeper. And I would love to get a shot deeper. Deeper means like lower, but I also know like it's not necessarily in the cards. But if it is, then it's closer to 30, which seems wild.
Well, look, if this tariff thing really is that bad in the next 3 months, aka quarter two, is like not fun for the markets, these trading volumes are going to get hit pretty bad.
Yeah. So for right now, what we have to as a supporting factor is that old $50 kind of like area, or was it? No, $50 was up here. So it was before $50, this $50 support. That dude lasted for like a week. It was the best week ever. And we got like this.
That was a fun week, bro. That was
dude.
Every day you woke up and you're up a lot of money.
Yeah. That's our 50 area. If I draw that across, you'll see where the concern comes in, because that is exactly what we hit and just got slapped on. Yeah. So this is therefore the box that I would really love to see Robinhood kind of chop in and go sideways before it could actually take off. I would love to see something like this. And then in that case, so here's the 50-day moving average. That's the blue line. I'd like that to stabilize. If the stock can slowly chop up over the 20, it's almost exactly going to look like this, right? And this will get real tight again. And I could draw a circle here, but I won't. But yeah, that's very much the trajectory that it could be in. So I think the dips sub 40 are still possible. I'm positioned here. It's not enticing enough for me to add. And I don't think it's a breakout primed, ready to go until something changes in maybe like the macro.
I mean, that's fair.
Or the broader market. So I think this is a no touch for now. Kind of chill and let it do its thing. Cause yeah, this is not too dissimilar than the Palantir chart. Let's be real, right? Cause the bears here, you want to be a good bull. You remember the saying, a good bull always knows where the bears are hiding. This is their little bear flag. It has broken down, right? And you're now sitting at support. This is about where that should go. And then the trajectory, if this fails, it's got to hold this $40 level. It doesn't have to, but you want to see that $40 level pretty much hold. And I still have some sold Robinhood April puts that Amit laughed at me for selling these 38 puts. I collected like $5 on those 38 puts, dude.
I feel like I told you to sell those puts.
He's such a liar.
No, you're the liar, bro. I gotta start pulling up real text messages, bro. This guy, bro, he just comes on my stream and spreads propaganda. Okay,
they're fine, but I've taken profit on what I wasn't like. I don't want to. I have them only because like it's cool. It would be cool to buy them, but at the same time, I sold them at such a high price. Like they honestly have more risk to selling. If I looked at it again, would I sell those 38 puts right here, right now? I probably wouldn't. So that's why I'm like, I would probably not want to hold those much longer if it does go down, because I might just get the stock at a better price.
Yeah, no, it's fair. It's fair. Can we do one more stock?
It's more gamblers, dude.
Well,
I mean, I told Amit this morning, or was it this morning, earlier today? I was like, he's like TT today, and I'm like, dude, I have a better shot at calling who's gonna win the NCAA, who's gonna be in the NCAA finals than I do like the direction of the stock market right now, because we're at such a critical pivot. But what Amit doesn't know is that I do know who's going to be in the NCAA finals, and it's going to be Florida and Duke. Just so you know, if you didn't know, make your bets.
And then you're betting on Duke, right?
You know, I think it's going to be anybody's game. Duke is like very like, they're like AI on steroids right now. They're like unreal. But Florida, I don't think Florida has shown their best game yet, dude. So if they do, maybe Flag gets an elbow to an eye socket or something and he can't play for a little while, then it's for sure could be a Florida game. But I do have Florida futures on, so we'll see.
All right,
that would be an upset, I think.
Can we do Rock Lab? And after that, that's most of the main tickers. You guys can start putting the tickers in the chat. Please don't spam them. Just once. I promise I see all of them. I'm going to try to get through as many as we can.
Rocket Lab's still no touch, right? So it's exactly where it was the last 2 weeks that we talked about it. I think it's constructive that it's holding here. It's creating a base. But it's not. This actually looks like it's going to go sideways for another 3-4 weeks, which wouldn't necessarily be bad on a name like this. Because if Rocket Lab can create an investor base of going sideways for a substantial period of time, that would be ideal. I at a certain point, you're going to get earnings early May, so May 13th. So you might get a little bit of a bounce into earnings, but that you can't really trust that, because it could be something that you could trade off of, which would be decent here now. But when earnings do come out, it's all about what's going to happen. And you still got to worry about that 2134 overhead resistance, which is that prior all-time high from 2021.
Okay. Sosthenes says, I don't have a ticker. I just wanted to say hi. Hello.
Hey.
Sosthenes, thank you for being there. Grab. Yeah, let's do Grab.
Of course, Grab. Actually, not bad. Can I do one? I haven't looked at this, but Grab is perfectly fine. Again, actually just a wait, just a hold here. It's not like a buy or a sell. It's in consolidation, the best kind of consolidation that you could have, I would say. But
also for those that don't know, Grab is having an event on April 8th. I'll be streaming it 10 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Singapore time. They put out some teasers today on Instagram. I don't know what they're going to reveal, but if they're trying to really get into that whole product event stuff, then it'll be exciting. April 8th. So in about a week.
Okay. Yeah. So I think you're going to get this bounce back into the 480s. Look at how tight these simple moving averages are getting, dude. Look at that. That's tight. Like they're all wound really tight in there. Anyways,
that sounded very interesting, but
this is getting very squeezy. It's very consolidated. This wants to move.
I agree,
but it can't make up its mind.
I agree.
It's holding 430s. I bought a little.
I bought some at 420 last week, but
I think that's.
I think it wants 550. It's ready to break out, but it needs a catalyst. Maybe it's earnings. We got a month left, so
I must have just bought this.
Yeah, it hit 430 yesterday. 435. I think.
Well, I bought it at 449.
Yeah, tomorrow tariffs are at 4 p.m. Some people are saying 3 p.m., but from what I'm looking at, I think it's at 4 p.m.
I heard 4.
Yeah, 4 p.m. Okay.
It's not going to be when the market's open.
Yeah, not when it's open. But before you get into your ticker what's the ticker you wanted to do?
I have a request.
Okay, let's do SOFI after this, and then we'll do ROKU.
It's ROKU.
Wells Fargo named this as one of their top 10 picks today.
So one of my analysts, in our group, one of my analysts actually is like really gunning for this, and I'm like, I cornered him one day, and I was like, dude, I don't get it. Like, help me understand. And he was like, listen, every time, so cord cutting is real, right? And people, if you had Comcast or whoever, Spectrum, Xfinity, and you subscribe for cable, but then in a real cable plan, they ask you how many TVs, and then you have like all these boxes, and for every TV, they charge you an extra like $10-20 a month. But like in reality, what happens now is like, you're like, I have one TV, and all the other TVs get little Amazon Fire Sticks or Rokus or whatever, probably Roku. And they did a really good job, like in the US market, getting that piece there. Apparently they make like 20 or 30% on all the OTT subscriptions that go through the Roku UI. So like if you buy Netflix through the Roku UI, they get a cut. You buy YouTube TV and you're using the Roku UI, they get a cut. Disney Plus, whatever, HBO Max, whatever. And on top of the advertising. So I'm like, maybe this is the thing. But from an international perspective, if we do think that emerging markets have a better bid in the next year or two, like Grab and things like that, that's their expansion area. So like if Roku's growth can continue to expand outside of the US, that could be the big bull case. Now that I understand better, it's not really advertising, but like maybe the OTT subscriptions.
I feel like that's always been the case for Roku, but it's always been.
But nobody's tracking it. There's not.
Kathy has so much money. What do you mean? She's been pumping this thing for years,
but not tracking what I just talked about. Nobody's tracking like here's the updates on however many growths and stuff like that. Like not major, no major analysts.
I'm not convinced by Roku. I'm just not. But the technicals might look good, but I don't
know the technicals don't. It doesn't, right? But like it's not horrible. But like if you're gonna buy it, I feel like this is where it would be. This is a multi-year base. How much is that base from that?
Dude, you got to 400 at one point. That's crazy.
Yeah. This is a 3-year base. So
they're not even good, dude. They're barely growing. Like they're growing like 15%, and their margins are not good. Like they're not profitable.
Where are they growing?
Top line revenue.
No, what
I know Latin America is their big market. I'm just saying, like, it's not a growth stock.
How much are those? What could it be? I mean, you're like Grab.
Yeah, but Grab's growing. Grab's growing more than Roku. Grab's growing 20%.
Okay.
Like, I've always been unconvinced, but I remember my first videos I made in
It's
2021
one of those like, dude,
about this.
I haven't been convinced either, but it's because there's not anybody that's really covering it. So if my ask was that my friend Amit maybe looks into it, so it's somebody that I trust would actually take a goddamn look. There's not enough people looking at it, and I just don't know.
Dude, I'll take another look, but I think Kathy's research sucks when it comes to this type of stuff. And like,
Right, I don't trust it. I don't
it.
trust Kathy's research. But who else has research on it?
No one, but maybe
that's my point.
I'll take a look.
If it looks good, okay. But anyways, that's my request.
If anyone has any,
I saw Chris put up his nice thing too. I know nice. I don't know.
You know, Chris actually was kind of bullish on Roku back in 2020. We were deep diving a little bit, but then.
But my thing is like, if we do want some international exposure, but also U.S. equity, right?
Grab.
Maybe.
I'd rather buy Mercado Libre over Roku.
Okay, we know that you have to be long Mercado Libre. What the hell? Wasn't a question about that.
I'm saying if international exposure is your bull case, like that's not a.
I mean, that's expansion. But anyways, at $70, I'm like, I don't know. It's probably right there. But this is like just in this area is where I would, if it was going to happen, this is where you would need to take your stand. And it would probably start to show up. Because like, what is their earnings? Their earnings, this says, why does this say earnings 41% beat, 81% beat? What is that? What's going on?
Those beats are irrelevant. I mean, look at the
They are, right? Like, so I don't know. Nobody covers it. Anyways, it's a thought. All right. So what was the other one? SOFI? SOFI. Actually, good look today. Very good look today. Right off the 200-day simple moving average. Kaping right yesterday. Extension again today. Again, another one where like we had that broadening formation, right? This is the broadening formation. Ding, ding, ding. And right there. Look at this. So bing, bing, bing. Hits in here. This is it. So right off the lows, these are kind of the areas that you want to buy. What you don't want to see is you don't want to see it hug this line, because that's very possible. If I go back and we pull some broadening formations from history, sometimes Boeing will literally just hug that, because this is price discovery. What we need to see here is so we have one shot at 1380 over that area, right? So this is that last kind of like big breakdown here, right? If I draw this across, this kind of comes into these lows. That last like head bump didn't feel great at 14, instantly smashed back. Dude, the velocity of some of these breakdowns is just wild right now, right? Like when a stock decides it's done going up, like the speed at which they are coming down is not fun.
I almost was below $10 at one point last week, dude. It's been,
yeah.
I mean,
it was, but the thing is, the other thing is that it was only there for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So like if you didn't get it, it's like, well, okay, I missed it. So now you got another shot at 11. And so I think it's going to bounce again. It is technically a higher low, but it is also technically a lower high, which means when you have the opposite of a broadening formation, you have a higher low and a lower high, you're going to go into consolidation. And I think that is ideally going to look like this. Not ideally, which means that you could take another shot at that 14 area. But again, you might lock in another lower high and consolidate until you're finally ready to go. So this is my point of like, if you are okay holding with something like this, that's fine. But the time frame of something of this type of trajectory is not, it's a long time frame. Again, if you're a SoFi shareholder, hey, you're used to this, right? But yeah, I don't hate that at all. And maybe selling some puts and selling some calls at the same time is
like if you sold like a $9 put or something, or an $8 put, even if you get 1 or 2%.
Oh,
you should be more than happy to own this thing.
Yeah, but and then the way that you do it is you on SoFi, these low dollar stocks, that's not really the same way. You go that 45-day to expiration kind of thing. Look at that. Boom. $10 puts, 9,000 traded today on May 16th. Let me see. That's not even that much. And they were
very liquid.
I mean,
I'm really liquid too with my Saratoga, but SoFi.
Has he peed in the bottle yet, you guys? Is that what he's drinking?
Dude, I'm gonna be using it every day now, just refilling it.
That's gross, dude. You don't want that mold after a while?
I hope not. I hope that is
not. He's still looking. Do you have any floaties?
Like, are there any calories on this?
I saw someone mention AMD. We'll take a look. So AMD was out of the downtrend for like a day. It was great. Here's your broader downtrend, which is I was looking for that 133 kind of pickup. Here's the more recent downtrend. I really thought about this. I think that the semis are just like they're a little low. They're almost like too low to me. So the problem is freaking Liberation Day.
Liquidation Day, bro.
Liberation Day could turn into Liquidation Day. It got to 115. It was a decent pivot at 115. That's the 200-week simple moving average. The purple line, again, doesn't really show up that often. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this one time. I think you can buy it.
Wow. The markets got so bad, you became bullish on AMD. Wow. For those that don't know, Jason is not a fan of, he hates Lisa Su. He really does.
I don't hate Lisa Su, but I think that this is a good spot if you're going to take the shot. Probably one of the better shots that you can, because we had 90 as the downside target, right? And it basically got there. It got to 94 right there. Can it still go to 90? Yeah. But at this point, taking a stab near 100 with a potential of going down 10% to 90, who cares, right? Like, because you're not going to be in this for that long, or for a short ride, right? I mean, can it go below that? I guess so, but I don't want it below 90. But this, I think, is going to create a base. I don't think this is going to play out anytime soon. I do think you need to buy, if you're going to do something here with options, this is more like a leap scenario. Let me just check. Let me check this volatility here.
We did RKLB already. We'll do some of these other semis in a second.
Yeah. So 46 percentile IV, anything under 50, I think you're okay. Yeah. I don't hate it. I would rather it be going up. It's not. There were some pretty far out of the money 2027 leaps traded. Oh, they're going way out of the money. I don't know about these guys. These guys are Looney Tunes.
AMD bulls are bullish, bro. They think it's one of the most undervalued companies.
They're in like they're targeting closer to 200 here. Hey, but if you're targeting 100 on hoodie, I mean, AMD bulls ain't got nothing on you, because we're looking for more than a double.
Can we do HIMS?
Well, they had what was the headline today?
They're selling a drug from Eli Lilly.
Yeah. Okay, so if you go out to December, I'll just tie this off on AMD. If you go out to December and January 2027, 2027s, 2026s are not really leaps, FYI. They're okay, but 2027s, they got some love today. You'll see the strikes. They're way out there. But if this holds this $100 level after breaching, it's not bad. Near term, I think this can get to 130s or so within like 9 months, maybe. All right, HIMS. So HIMS, big news scandal. That did it hold? No.
Zeptide, they're selling now.
Trizepatide?
No, Zeptide. It's like another version of Ozempic. Oh, sorry, Zepbound. Sorry, not Zeptide.
Zepbound.
It's like another version of Ozempic, right? I think that's what it is.
Zepbound.
Yeah, Zepbound.
Dude, that's a nothing burger.
No, but they weren't selling it before.
Oh, who cares? That should not move the stock. Thankfully, it did not actually hold because that would be stupid. If this was up like 10%, I would have said sell the shit out of that.
Hey, well, it was up 8.9 at one point.
Yeah. I saw it. I just didn't even register to me. This again, no touch, sideways. It did hit my 25. Oh shit. Shoot. It got to 27. I was looking for that 27. I missed that.
Him's just cheap, bro. It's still cheap at these levels.
It's not cheap, bro.
It's cheap. It's the price of sales of 2, and they're growing at like 70%. If you assume their growth rate, it's not like it's I would at 40, 45, 50, obviously at 70, I would agree. But
well, the problem is the shortage, right?
I don't even know how to answer that. I don't know enough about the company. That's why I don't buy it.
Well, they were making the problem that when there was a shortage on Wegovy and Zepbound and whatever, they were selling a lot of compounded GLP-1s, which they make like apparently they make a boatload on compared to the name brand. So that yes, they still sell the name brand. They always have. They just don't make nearly as much. Yeah,
because I think the headline 2 weeks ago was there's no more shortage.
Right. And that's this. So
do you like it at these levels from a technical?
I had 25 in the cards. I mean, that's 27. I don't love it. I would have liked a better discount.
I mean, this is super high beta, so if we do get another correction, yeah, this one's headed lower.
Yeah, I just really do worry about the moat. Meaning, like, if it's only for fat people,
it's not.
Like,
no, that's just one part of the.
But like, you know, for how long?
The GLP
what if I'm not fat anymore? Do I need to buy this stuff?
Well, if you're losing your hair, then yeah.
I mean, and then you get older. I mean, maybe.
I mean, people are seeing it as a telehealth.
Dude, you don't want that. You don't want that.
It's not like a teledoc. That's
look.
I knew you were gonna go to teledoc, not like teledoc.
Can we just revisit teledoc?
Do
they know? Do you know? $314.
I covered it live that day. I remember this. I remember.
You did?
I was actually with Chris and a guy you don't know.
Was this the Livongo Health acquisition?
Yes.
Where was that?
Me, Christian, Sean.
This was the Livongo.
No, that white candle right going down. Keep going. That big white candle, I believe that was Livongo.
Yeah.
That top was just 2021 shenanigans, but that in 2022, that white candle was Livongo.
They did not like that. They did not. They like overpaid.
Yeah.
Wasn't that some kind of dirty deal?
Well, they also took a goodwill impairment charge. That was
it was some kind of dirty deal with that.
Yeah.
So, anyways, they don't care about shareholders here, so you shouldn't care about them either.
Can we do Broadcom, AVGO?
I almost did Micron.
We can do that after. Yeah.
How about we do this? Let's go semis as a whole. SMH, the sector. So the sector itself it's not quite like Nvidia. It's actually a little bit deeper. So this is the range that the SMH has been trading in for essentially the last year and a quarter, right? Something like that. It's been basically at $200. And almost every time that you've gotten a shot in this area, it's been a pretty good buy. That said, it can and it has when it loses this, the last 1-2 times, there were a few days of really deep red blowing right through. So this last time when it lost the 210, it wasn't like a complete bloodbath. I mean, it was a bloodbath coming into it, but I think that all of these, if you're just relying strictly on technicals, it actually does say buy. Oddly enough, right? Again, like I said,
because the earnings for these semis companies like Micron have been phenomenal. They've not been bad at all.
Yeah.
So like the earnings growth is supporting your technical argument here about
so low, low, ping, low. So yes, this looks like a buy. And I think it's one of those where it's like you kind of like hold your breath and buy kind of thing, because it's like it's so bad that it's good. But you know that, look, if you lose that 200-ish level on the SMH, you basically want the lows to be in. And if the lows aren't in, you need to exit stage left, because this could get a lot uglier. And you might, this would be one where you turn a trade into an investment and you don't necessarily want to do that, because below that it's 160. But if this holds, which it looks like it's going to try to hold, this is again, it's a spot where it should bounce. Now, where the bounce goes to, that's also important, right? So I'm going to do this. So on the upside, so see this area right here, we just bailed from. So here, that was that rejection point, 233. So that's important, right? If this, what you'd like to see is you'd like to see this kind of come up here, kind of hit right there, pull back a little bit and hold that type of low. And so this area here ends up being like here. You want this to hold, and you can see, like, do we get a little bit of a stutter step over here? So if I want to be patient, what this looks like is it looks like not trying to snipe this. It looks like waiting for this to come up, potentially lock in a slightly lower high. But then if that pullback ends up being a higher low, then I take it, right? So this would look like this, pull back anywhere in here, base out and go. So that's the trajectory that you want this to look like. So from here, if you're buying this, you got to have a sell button available around the 230 level, because you're going to pull back. You're probably going to retrace about half of whatever that bounce is. And then you want to see it go sideways for a while, catch its breath and its feet. And then you want to see the next move be to the upside, which puts me back into that scenario of, like, for this moment, this market, ideally neutral range bound trades right here, right now, are probably key to survival. Because if you try and catch this again, when they fail very fast.
Okay, so then can we just look at Micron and Broadcom real quick? But I think the same applies essentially.
Yeah, that's why I did that, right? So yeah. Micron's been trading in a pretty clean range, although oh, my voice. Somebody needs to give me, like, the secret to, like, fixing this froggy voice. This is the range. It's pretty clean, 110 to about 80s. The bottom is holding, but if you're not buying it at 85, I mean, it's okay here, but it's got to go directly up, because if it doesn't, this and what's kind of concerning is that the lows have been getting like I mean, the highs are getting lower and lower and lower. So, like, this highs, these triple top was like 113, and then the high was like 112, and then it was like 110, and then it was like 107, and then the high is like 104. You see what I'm saying? Like, these highs are getting lower and lower and lower. So this is, again, consolidation. Again, best bet, key to survival here now, to me, is these neutral sideways trades, because that is the trajectory I believe this is going to get into. So if you think that the box is going to stay a box, I think my sentiment here is to be cautious more than optimistic because this box does not look like a box anymore. It looks more like a triangle, which means that those highs are getting lower and lower and lower. So you gotta front run that exit.
And then same thing on Broadcom, I imagine.
Is it?
It feels the same bouncy back and forth.
It's not as bad as Micron. So Micron usually is a big time laggard, right? For the semis, like that's where you are here. This this breakdown, God, this is real ugly, dude. It's right into support, but it's giving back everything. Was this their breakout quarter?
That was what, December?
This is June 2024.
Yeah, no, it was right before the split, but then December is when they really had some fun. And then they gave back a lot of that.
Well, you're below December, definitively. Your price today at 160 is from that. Like, this is the December gap, which blew through the box that it was trading in right here. So I think it's similar in the sense that this is probably the box that it trades in. So again, 180 or lower. Below, you got to front run the exit right now because the exit is, they're exiting before the exit hits. Almost like halfway before the exit hits. It's 177. So you can't wait for 80 because you could just hit this 177 and knock your head right on the ceiling. These are dangerous. Like, they look good. These are day trades is what they are. They're not swing trades. So you got to take these day by day, minute by minute, because you are going down like the golf course holding two lightning rods in the middle of a storm. You could get hit. But I think that's a lot of that's reflected here.
Okay.
But the bounce, there's a bounce in play. It's in play right now. Up to like that one, just under 180. And then from there, you have to see this consolidate a little bit because that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 really red days. Again, it might not even be to 170. It might even be 175. Who knows? But like I'd say about 177. And then you're at risk again, and you got to be careful. Unless it's just blowing through 180, then okay, that's all good.
Okay, can we do Meta?
There's our broadening formation. He's got to hold this center line. Looks like it's a better day today. I'm going to go weekly here. This is exactly mirroring the market, was my thought here. This is mirroring the market almost to a T. So you could take that market analysis on SPY and just paint it right over Meta. It's a little bit better, but downside is it is deeper, but it's not going down right now as long as it's over 573.64 is that center line from that initial broadening formation here. But if it loses that, look out. But this is, again, this is what I was saying. The whole market, if it were not for Liberation Day and NFP on Friday, I would be uber long right now. But because of that, I'm like, who knows? What's Savage saying?
He's saying you made him enough money to go to Italy. There you go.
Oh, nice, dude. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you for the super chat, sir. Jason's Twitter, I'll be linking right here in the chat. Anyone can follow him there.
It's a good time for a vacation, don't you think?
I couldn't relax on a vacation, dude. Unless we have internet, I would hate being on vacation, to be honest.
Dude.
Even Chris called back into the show. He couldn't get away from the market. He couldn't get away.
I love it, man. I love it. Dude, I moved to we're in the move. I moved to like a couple blocks on the street because I needed a place that had a separate, it's almost like it's a separate building so that I could build a second studio attached to the on the same property. And like this new place has fiber. Dude, do you know how expensive fiber is? But it goes up to 5 gigs. That's crazy.
As long as you have lightning speed, that's what matters, I feel like.
I mean, there you go.
because we're on the internet. Like we kind of have to have the right internet.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, yep. 5 gigs is like, what's your speed? That's gonna blow you away. Whatever
think-
you have, I don't care. Nobody has 5 gigs.
it's not 5. Yeah, it's definitely not 5.
I saw that and I was like, dude, do you even have equipment that goes 5 gigs? That's like, remember, I used to like getting HD back in the day, but like your TV only had standard def vision and
Yeah.
you're like paying for HD cable, but you can't play anything in HD.
Yeah. Can we do SMCI?
SMCI.
And do you think there's any
Fiber was like 180 a month for 2 gigs. I think it was like 280 a month for 5. SMCI. So again, all of this is like, you're right there. I think it's done going. It's right at the same spot that we bought it last time, but did I say we again? Dude, you gotta really correct me. You gotta help me from saying that stuff.
When you're saying we, you're talking about you and your group, right?
No, I'm talking
about
about
you
you
and
and me.
All right, I'll make sure to correct you.
It's right here at $30 again. You know, it's an okay bounce, but it's all like the other ones. I would normally be taking these shots. But yeah, man, you know, you got to know when to trade and when not to trade. I think that's more important. Is like, I know that there's a lot of headline risk right now, and it's just going to be so much safer next week. Like so much safer, dude. And plus, you know, we have championships coming. We got Final Four this weekend. Then we got the finals. It's good. Anyways, it doesn't look bad. Hopefully for the SMCI bulls, this is a higher low. Hopefully, you're right here off that trend line. So you barely, by the hair of your chinny chin chin, just got back on it.
That's
but
tight.
Again, why I'm like, dude, this is sketchy is because like if you get a red candle tomorrow, I'm just telling you, if you get a red, if you open green tomorrow on a lot of these, and at any point during the day, here's the worst case scenario across the board. I don't care what you're looking at. And this is why it's so hard to do this today, this moment, is that if we open up green tomorrow and at any point during the day, we end up flipping red, there's the possibility of being a rug pull, like a straight up rug pull. So everything looks green, but again, if we gap up too much overnight and then pre-market looks really good, it could be one of those days where you see nothing but red in the middle of the day. And if you didn't have that exit button, boom, 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 out of the gate, it's not going to be fun. So you got to be really cautious.
Okay, can we do VRT, Vertiv?
It's right there, right? So like, again, exactly this scenario, right? So why is that? Because here's where that last failure was. If tomorrow, like you start to go up, this is what happens. You start to go up a little bit tomorrow, but at some point you lose that 75 level. You get a little stutter step. It's gonna be the gulag, right? But as long as you can hold 75, normally this should be good. This should be good to like, honestly, this should be good to like near 90 normally.
And you think the data center stuff is being traded the way Nvidia is being traded, essentially?
Well, I don't think it's right there.
Yeah.
I mean, tell me this doesn't look like Nvidia.
No, it does. It does.
Yeah. It's a little bit weaker than the rest. You got to be cautious. And even if you do get to that 190 level, 190, that 90 level or 80s, you're going to hit that 20-day simple moving average, which would be ideal. The best case scenario for this, for any kind of sustained, and most of your viewers are longer term, is to get there, pull back about half of it to 87s and go sideways for a literal month. And I know it's going to sound like, dude, who wants to wait a month and then go? Dude, patience is a virtue here. I'm just telling you. These setups will come to you. They will come to you, and they might be higher than they are now, but the better night's sleep, not having to like be like really worried about the gulag. I don't want to see the gulag. I've seen enough gulags. You know what a gulag is? Where it looks like?
I've heard of it.
It's not fun. Anyways.
Okay, can we do Bitcoin? And while you start, I'm going to go liquidate before liquidation.
Sure he is.
Liquidation day tomorrow. I need to liquidate, so I'll be
Is that the name he's got it? So video, I don't know. I wish Amit was still here. I may come back. Because I don't know what the catalyst is, like why some crypto people think that Liberation Day is going to be bullish. I just got that feeling. I don't know that they actually think it is. Can it squeeze? I think it can. This is this is a very squeezy setup, but it's also a sketchy setup. So I'm looking at this. Where we are is right here. So 85 and change was this gap. So this is like the election boom. 2021 all-time high breakout. We're just barely reclaiming this first little blip on the radar. That's 85K right here. And move forward. You're on it. So again, dude, probability of a rug pull is high. At sub 80, I'd rather be long than short, but I don't know so much here. So this looks like it could look, it's trappy. So this could look like 90 before 80s again, and ideally something like that. But again, this whole setup, this is not, that's the trajectory that is possible. If you don't even get that high, then you really need to be careful, because you have this little, it's 86, like this little like grouping, which is here. So maybe you get a little bit, and I'm just like zooming.
Are we going to the moon, or are we, what's going on?
I don't know why some people think that this is, but no, you're not. I don't know why. Is there something that is there some like random thought out there that Liberation Day is going to be bullish for Bitcoin?
No, yeah, I heard some of those.
Why?
I don't know.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
I actually don't know why people are thinking Liberation Day is Bitcoin bullish or crypto bullish.
I don't. Well, I don't understand. I'm gonna claim absolute ignorance, right? Absolute ignorance, because I just don't understand. So if somebody knows when Pluto for
this big ass account, 200,000 followers, Liberation Day will be good for Bitcoin in a world where everybody puts tariffs on everything. Moving your investments into transportable digital gold is a no-brainer. Wow, people are fucking stupid, bro.
Wow, it's almost like it's almost as bad as people thinking. Like,
hold on, in a world where everybody puts tariffs on everything, moving your investments into transportation or transportable digital gold is a no-brainer. Is he really comparing tariffs on soybeans as a bull case for Bitcoin?
Carl, yeah, that's my response right there.
This is actually a big account on Twitter for Bitcoin. This is not like some small random no name.
Dude, let's be real. That's how, dude, troll tweets like that is how that account got big. That's a troll tweet. That's a troll post.
This guy has a PhD from Stanford in math.
He has a PhD in troll posts, right? Because like that's a good one, right? Because everybody's gonna reply to that, "You're an idiot," right? And then you're gonna have other people be like, "Yo, let's go." I mean, that's a good post. You can't knock the post. It's a great,
but if it's serious, I think that's scary. If it's a troll, then it's funny. But
no. I mean, you know,
it didn't look like a troll post.
Listen, the good troll posts never admit that it's actually a troll post, right? the good ones. They're
Yeah,
like,
you
no.
can tell if it's a troll. This one looks like he's dead ass serious.
Yeah, but does he post serious stuff most of the time or just stupid things to get people going? I mean, anyways, I think you can get to like, I think you could actually get really close to 90s, and it's going to be choppy. Yeah, no, Cactus Jacks.
You don't think there's an argument there? Inflation, sanctions.
There is no money printing. So there's no money printing.
Yeah, tariffs wouldn't be a reason to print money, right? There's no correlation there, I think.
Oh no, unemployment would be.
Yeah, well, okay, so maybe that's an argument, but then Bitcoin would collapse with the Nasdaq if.
Oh yeah, dude. we would get our 50, 60 before then, which is where I would buy it, like if I saw it, but we haven't been close to that. Yeah. So okay. Let's
wait. Someone has a good. What if that was an April Fool's post?
Hey, that would
it was
be good.
Posted on April, but yeah, that's dude. They got me.
Post that. You should copy paste it.
They got me in the first 30 seconds of the market open. I was like, yeah, guys, April Fools, yada yada, and then they're like, muted. I'm like, I'm muted. I'm in my heart
bro.
Like literally, I watched it back. It was the first 30 to 45 seconds of the show.
Damn. I could.
And then they were like, "Oh, Carp's gonna be on Bloomberg in 20 minutes." I was like, "All right, that's awesome. We got Carp in 20 minutes." And then I realized there's no Carp in 20 minutes. So.
No Carp. Okay, so if you want to be bullish, there are a little bit different Bitcoin charts than Stonk charts. We've reviewed this in the past. What we have here is the typical I caramba Bart Simpson, right? Now, what you might forget is that there's also an equivalent inverse Bart Simpson, which looks a little bit like that. So it's possible, not necessarily probable, and sometimes this goes sideways for like a year. So that's what we have. It's kind of gambling. That's what I see. Kind of gambling. It's getting squeezy to the point where I could see that happening. But I guess if you want to know where that's going, it just goes right into that 96, right where it came from.
Can we look at MicroStrategy and Coinbase too with it?
I mean, we already looked at Hood.
No. Sorry, Coinbase.
Oh, MSTR, dude, that was such a good short on Tuesday. But so this also still consolidating. I really would like to see this MSTR go deeper, but it didn't, and it held, and now it's still squeezing. When I say squeezing, it just means that the market is like wound very tight, and it's ready to make a big move. It's been going sideways for a while. This move started out going down, and then it's not continued to go down. This could continue to go sideways. You still have to deal with that 340-ish area. It's this little volume shelf right here. So that comes from all of this right here, where you hit this, boom, and then you got a 70-point duper, like in a couple days. That was very quick. That was less than a week.
I feel like it's been holding up pretty nicely, to be honest.
I mean, depends on when you're entering and exiting. If you've just held it, then yeah, you probably don't even.
What do you think of him buying even more? He bought like 30,000 coins. Sailor.
Oh, what did he? I don't care.
He bought $2 billion worth of it yesterday.
Can we talk about his spinoff or whatever? Didn't he pull an ape, AMC ape?
I don't even know how to explain it, dude. I really don't. I tried reading into it. It's like a different.
No, it's like what AMC did with ape. The dude is out of funds. Like they're not able to raise more funds. Otherwise, they would just be issuing more debt. Yeah. But he can't. So he's got to keep the wheels going. And so he's going to issue a whole separate equity. STRK. Yeah. It's like AMC issuing ape. It's the same thing.
Okay, so then what about Coinbase?
I think it's the same thing. Someone who's MSTR Bull is probably going to yell at me and tell me a million reasons why it's not the same. I don't know. It looked like the same when I skimmed it. I didn't do a bunch of research on it. Bro, I'd almost rather coin. Oh, that's little purple line just showed up. That's a new 200 week simple. That's cool.
I like coin way better than MicroStrategy. Like way better. I could DCA into this thing over the next decade. MSTR, I don't know, bro.
Coin?
Yeah.
Why?
It's a good business. It's just it relies on crypto. That's all. But it's not a bad business. MicroStrategy, there just is no business.
But you have Hood.
No, I know. I wouldn't buy coin over Hood, but if I had to pick between coin and MSTR, it's like no brainer for coin.
I don't hate coin as a trading vehicle. Before, like Hood was never going. I mean, coin was never going bankrupt. So like $35, $45, like.
Yeah, I completely missed that bottom completely.
It's all right, dude. You could have. I didn't miss it at all. I loaded the freaking boat.
Well, thanks for your encouraging words.
Yeah, and I rode it to like 115, and I sold it all at 80. I said, "Screw this."
Oh wow!
So don't think it's much better. The grass isn't always greener.
Well, I went for Hood at 8 instead of Coinbase at 35, but still, it was pretty obvious what was happening with Bitcoin there, and people made a lot of money.
No, because it hit this, and I was like, that's no good. And then we didn't hold. This is way back when we didn't hold this. I think that's and so when I sold on one of these two, because I bought it here, and it went boom. And then I sold on one of these 2 days. I don't remember which day. And I was feeling good for like a month. And then I blinked and it was like, what just happened?
Yeah.
So grass is not always greener. I like the level. At this point, though, I don't know how many other people are thinking like, would you rather? You know what I mean? Like, I
feel like if you're buying a Bitcoin proxy right now, you've got to be super bullish, and it just doesn't feel like that's the time to take that type of a risk. Like, if this thing doesn't crank back to 95, 100K, what are you doing buying Coinbase? Like, realistically, or MicroStrategy, right?
Right.
So,
and I'm not that bullish on Biddy.
Yeah,
I'll figure that out.
Okay, can we do Uber?
If it's over 210, this looks really good on Coinbase, just as an aside. But because like 210 is right here, the IPO area, and that failed just like last week.
Yeah,
it's not got me excited. So if it is over that 210, I think if you get real squeezy, you get some really big moves. But until then, this is more likely to go sideways than and up and down within a $20-$30 range, I guess, $20 range. Uber, what's up with Uber? Like, I get a lot of people asking about Uber lately. I
think it's because of Ackman. He's pumping it every day. Well, not every day, but he puts out tweets every other week about.
I do get a lot of requests for Uber recently. The price action is not supporting it.
I went to their headquarters in SF, and the Uber employee, the one near the Chase Center. I didn't know their headquarters is them and OpenAI are literally right next to the Dubs where they play, which is crazy.
Dude, Uber has like 5 buildings on market.
Well, OpenAI took over one of the leases because the employee was so mad. He was like, they fucking took it from us. But he said, look, FSD is a real threat. However, he thinks Uber will be a platform for the Waymos of the world, and that's what saves them.
Yeah, I would agree. But what's the time frame on that?
I mean,
like a decade.
Yeah, basically.
So I think this could be sideways for like half of that.
Really?
Dude.
What if they keep growing free cash flow? Like the stock should follow. Or is the narrative that hit? You know?
Well, this is a wait. So the whole market, you guys, is a wait right now. There's nothing. There are a lot of things that would be like buy, right? Nvidia, buy. But liquidation day tomorrow and non-farm payrolls on Friday. So like, can I wait 72 hours? Like, is 72 hours really that important? Like, is the whole world going to change in the next 72 hours so fast that I can't? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, people don't have patience. Like, are you in this for a sprint, like today, tomorrow, or are you in it for like a longer period of time? I don't know. I don't know, actually. Everybody's different. So maybe they are trading day to day, in which case, come to the server. That's where we give you that stuff. But even then, I'm still very cautious there. But it looks okay to go sideways. This is the consolidation. You cannot get me excited about Uber, period, end of story, unless it's over like $87. Here's a monthly. And there's the reason. The month, this is a monthly, right? Even at this point, you're up $81. Dude, so like, what are those things that they scan when you go to the grocery store and like they go to check out and they go, dude, they scan the
barcode.
Yeah, so this is it. Right? I'm just telling you. This is your box. Uber is firmly in the center of the box. Can it go up? I guess, what is that, 10%? 12% to the top of the box? For sure. For sure it can. But I'm still not excited about it at that point. That's not a breakout. A breakout here isn't until you're at least over 82. And then we can say, okay, 87 or higher. But like, there's nothing. Does it make sense? Like, there's nothing exciting about this chart near term.
I don't disagree with you. And the narrative is not exciting either. So, yeah, it is a fair point. People want to do Europe. Can we do
Trump is live?
Trump is not live, dude. People are just.
Trump is live right now.
Oh, he's not live. They're trying to April Fool's.
Dude.
I'm pretty sure Trump is not live. Imagine he's live. By the way, okay, so can we do VGK? And there is a, what's his name? Cory Booker, senator from New Jersey, has been filibustering the Senate, which basically means talking to try to.
VGK, is this the FTSE?
It's the European ETF. He's been filibustering for the past 20 hours against what he calls a protest against the Trump administration's policies. So you have a senator inside of Congress right now who's basically been talking. I think the record is 24 hours, so he might be trying to go for the record. And he's trying to say that Trump is horrible. So there you go.
He's not a horrible pullback, if that's what you're looking for. You really got to think about this, right? Like, is it a crowded trade? I don't know. This is not a horrible pullback.
This is up 12% year to date.
Yeah, but it was up a lot more, I think is the point, right? And it's down about 5% from the highs, maybe a little bit more. So the question is, yes, it's up 12% to me. If it's not the question, let me know. Is this a decent pullback? It is a decent pullback. Can it get a little bit deeper? It can, into the 68 level here. So it could be a solid pullback. You'd be looking essentially about half of that swing high to swing low, or swing low to swing high, which would put you closer to that 67-ish area.
You know what my fear is about Europe? What if funds wake up and they're like, why the fuck are we invested in Europe? Like what if they wake up and they're like, wait a second, Nvidia and Google, I guess we had our price earnings messed up on our Webull apps. Why are we investing in Europe over Nvidia?
Are you implying that United States has so much power that it's like the U.S. money is solely responsible for propping up the rest of the global economy? Stocks?
Well, what I am implying is
that what he's implying right now?
What I'm implying is the foreign inflow into Europe was the highest in the past 10 years over the past month. I think it was about 7 billion. What if they make a little bit of money and they're like, why the hell are we still here? Like, what's so exciting about, other than the defense contractors, what is so exciting about Europe?
I mean, no,
There's
I
nothing.
think-
That's the answer is there's nothing. At least to my, maybe I'm ignorant here, but what tech company is changing the game in Europe outside of the defense contractors, which there's a legit argument for them.
Yeah.
But-
I mean, that said though, like technically sound, dude. That any pullback here is more or less buyable. With targets up to like 76s. So like even if you do get this pullback somewhere down there, then you're looking at another 10% upside, potentially up to the 80s, but unless this does like a full-blown, hey, we're gonna blow your face off kind of pullback to the 90s. Yeah, it hasn't breached that 75 level yet. If it gets over 75, it's going to 100, right? That's the rule.
Yeah, I mean, usually. Well, that's your rule, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, is it my rule or is it just fact?
Well, your rule was that
Is
if
it- is
Bitcoin
it-
crosses 85, we'll see 120, and that didn't happen yet.
We got damn close, dude.
No,
And I bet you on some
actually we did.
exchange,
109.
it hit
You're right. We did get close. You're right.
109.
For Palantir, you were 1,000% correct. We literally went from 85 to 120 in a month.
Dude,
So,
what was your buy though? I yelled at you. I had you buy it like in here.
at 90, right? Yeah.
Not 90, dude.
Well, 80. What price? 87, 88? It was around that range. It wasn't
Was
anything
it?
that much more below. It wasn't like 79 or anything like that. It was a good buy until inauguration, and then it topped out. and
Is
then-
it not red or is it not green?
Dude, I probably sold it. There's no way I have. It was only like $100. It wasn't anything substantial, but we topped out at 109, and
Yeah.
I don't know if we get. Do you think we revisit the highs this year?
I mean,
Just yes or no. Don't give me a political answer. Just yes or no. I say
we
yes.
should.
think
We
we do.
should. It's supposed to be Q2, right? We talked about this. The blow off top of the halvening cycle is Q2 the following year. And I
Yeah,
think
but
that's
if Q2 is tainted with tariffs, then
right. But so the understand what I'm saying. The blow off top, right? Meaning like it. Does you guys know what a blow off top is? Do they know? Do you know what a blow off top is? Is that such an old antiquated phrase?
no, it's not. It's like when like Palantir 125 is a blow off top, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So like it should be violent, could be violent. And maybe this little inverse I carumba creates it. Maybe. But if it doesn't happen, it's gonna be a sad day because let me tell you, Q3 ain't good.
Yeah, which means we got to watch out for hoodie. Then,
Yeah.
okay, can we do?
Well, hopefully Hood's got like enough other levers that they're pulling by then that it's subdued.
Yeah, I mean that's my bet that they will. Can we do VCE or sorry VSE? I don't know if you've heard of this one before, but
290, bro.
it's really at 290. Or it got to be.
285, now down back to 200. That's disgusting.
It's wild.
285. There's no circuit breakers in the aftermarket.
There is not. Yeah. Okay, I believe it's VSE. That's the ticker. This is a dividend-paying $2 billion small cap.
Vietnam. No, it's not it.
VSEC. Okay, Dylan, give me the exact ticker because I don't think give me the exact ticker and then we'll redo it. Okay, in the meantime, can we do Reddit?
Face ripper, blow off top. Oh, yeah. I don't know what that ticker is. Who's requesting?
Reddit, RDT. A bunch of people want to see this one.
Are you sure it's not bots?
I mean, I hope not.
Somebody that you know has to request it. Well, that's not fair because we can't.
Well,
place
I'm
it.
beneficial once Reddit, so let's see this one.
Okay. Dude, can't knock it. Dude, cannot knock it.
I feel like it's going lower.
Okay. But all of this is the same exact freaking setup. It's like you slightly breached the lows yesterday, right? And I see, okay, so here's the power earnings gap, the peg, new word of the day. The trading word of the day, peg, power earnings gap, right? There's your peg.
Word. It's a great word.
Yeah. What was the word of the day today?
The word of the day today was humbug.
That's so lame.
I'm surprised I remember that. Usually I forget the word of the day like an hour after the word of the day.
Oh, dude, you know, Miss Cleo also said, when we were talking about our personal gimmicks, I got Miss Cleo. Miss Cleo said tomorrow's going to be a bloodbath. But that's for the T in TA, which stands for tarot. Just the tarot card reading that I get weekly.
Dude, people act like you get offended when someone says male astrology. You're just like, okay, sure, it is. Like, people actually think they can like get under your skin by being like, oh, this is useless. It's like, okay,
no,
it's useless, you know.
Here it is. The Substack. Oh no, is this crypto? There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Wait, so this is, what week is this? Oh, I'm actually showing his thing. He's probably not good. Yeah, so stocks. There's a theme card today.
Someone actually
This is the first time I'm showing this on your. No, this is not this week's.
I did not know someone actually does astrology on stocks.
Oh my God. Sorry, let me pull it up because I gotta find it. And it should take like 2 seconds.
Well, maybe it's better than.
Okay, so this is this week. So the theme card was the Page of Swords. And what I was looking at was, and we have, this is the 9 of Pentacles. So you get a theme card for the week, and then you get 1 card for each day of the week. And this is today is the Queen of Cups. Yesterday was the okay, watch this, right? And then Friday we have this naked lady in the water, which is kind of interesting. But this is tomorrow. And when you look at this, that is not looking like a good card to pull for tomorrow. Just saying. But it's cool. Like, okay, theme card. Run out of steam early in the process. That was Monday, right? This means that there's a new high, chance of reversion this week. Brings a ton of historical data. Swords cut and can be relentless. May get hurt pretty bad. Let me pull the rest of this reading. So this is, remember, this is just the T and TA. It stands for tarot. Monday, Tuesday. Today is Tuesday. Expect mean reversion, or at least a slow turning of the tide.
What happened? That's
exactly what happened. This is the first day of a new month and quarter. So Monday's pressure will be behind us. Expect change, and a little changer. Tomorrow is the 8 of Swords, and we're feeling bound and helpless, unable to free ourselves from the trap of victimhood. This often happens after we get greedy during a green day, which happened to be today, and hope for continue. Is this wild?
I mean, it's playing out so far
today. Dude. Look at the chat. The chat knows Miss Cleo. The chat knows Miss Cleo. It's a little wild, dude. Do you know who Miss Cleo is?
Yeah, she's one of those famous astrology ladies. Yeah.
I don't know if she's still in jail or not, but she did go to jail. I don't.
She used to have a show, right? I think.
Oh yeah, she went to jail.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's comedic relief, but it's wild. It is wild how accurate she can be sometimes. This one usually closes red.
Okay, so Reddit
says don't get long since the juice stays closed. But so maybe but maybe she says maybe we get a bit of relief after lunch. I don't know. Start unwinding, hard to say. I think it was Friday.
Oh, they said she died. She died.
Oh, did she? I don't know. Shit. My bad.
So you should have known that. I didn't know that.
Friday. So Friday usually brings this is non-front fit when following, especially the 6th. The star brings Friday. The star brings hope, and that's good for next week. However, However, it could stick us with a bit of consolidation to close this one. Another, however, see how she does? However, if we do this, if we do that, she doesn't know what's going on. Sorry. So anyways.
Yes, Reddit. What's going on with Reddit now?
That's my
this or
fun.
not?
Thank you for letting me have a little fun. So it looks like a little bit of liquidity grab, right? So if Miss Cleo is right, then tomorrow you would lock a higher low and not breach the absolute lows. And so, yeah, so if Reddit can hold over 104, that's good to create this little bit of a base right here. So the base being like all of this area right in here. If that is to actually be where the buyers are stepping in, they've stepped in once, right? Twice, 3 times here after a little bit of a breach. This is what I'm talking about. Today, you know, for all intents and purposes, even on Reddit from the open, the bears should have had every opportunity to smash this like right into the ground, but they haven't, right? And so because of that, this becomes a little bit of a liquidity grab that should have been able to press it back down to the 80s, but because they failed to press it lower, this looks like it's going higher. It is right here, right now, the time to buy it. I don't know. Miss Cleo thinks we're going to do a little something like that, which actually would be pretty solid. Quite frankly, not bad at all. And if I did see something like that, that would be better. Am I frozen or is Amit just like super statue right now?
No. Am I statue? That might be.
You're able to do that. You get stuck. Oh, he's doing the typing. Are you doing the typing right now?
No, I'm not typing anything.
Reddit. It looks good. It's a little much, but it doesn't look horrible. If this continuation can hold through 112, you're right into this area. So if this opens up at 112.72, I wouldn't chase it. I wouldn't chase it if it's around let's call it 113. Would not chase that. But below 113, if you got it, it looks decent. If it's below 104, though, get out. Exit stage left.
I mean, that's kind of in lines with the tarot reading that you showed us. Yo, you guys are trying to freaking prank me, bro. That's what you guys are trying to do. Amit is not frozen.
Dude, Brian is all about Miss Cleo now. That's funny.
Dude, what would be funny is if I keep talking and you act like you can't hear me. And so you just keep ignoring me. Then I would really think that I'm not talking.
Dude, I'm looking at the comments. I think they liked Miss Cleo, bro.
Yeah, they did.
I don't know.
Hey, you guys are really trying to mess with me today. It's not going to work. Okay, Tempest. Yeah, let's do this one. And then we'll do rapid fire after this and we'll get through a bunch of them.
Are you going to put Miss Cleo in the captions or in the...
I have to. Yeah.
All right.
In the chapters. The screen is not black. I'm not pixelated, you guys. Not like... Yo, when I was in the bathroom, you should have actually like coordinated that prank. That would have been hilarious if I came back down and you would have acted like you didn't even know I was here.
I suck, bro. I suck so bad at this.
That would have been such a good prank.
Again, not a bad spot to take a shot, but even on Tempest, because clearly this is a lower high at 60, right? Like, so higher high, lower low.
Dude, this thing would not be here unless freaking Pelosi bought it. That's why I just think this is
a wild
mess. It is an absolute mess. Pelosi is the only reason this thing is pumping. That's it.
So it is a wild one. It's definitive broadening formation, like a bunch of higher highs and lower lows. You're sitting at the center line. So I would wait till you have a little bit more clarity on something like this, because you could take it. You really could take it all the way up, but you got to trail it up, right? So meaning like if it makes this trajectory, look at what it looks like normally when it makes this trajectory. It's a very clean intraday series of higher highs and higher lows, and it goes continuously, although it does not a lot of chop in there. And if you get the chop, well, then you're coming down, right?
By the way, guys, after hours, we're getting about a 0.5% move across all of tech. So yeah, it's 562 after hours right now.
It's not the greatest setup for tomorrow. Like I said, I don't want to see that big bright green open to flip red. This is not going to be fun. So if I'm a pattern person, are you familiar with my patterns?
I know that you don't like patterns.
No, I do some patterns. This is the Triceratops.
Bro, what are these charts, bro? What is
Triceratops?
This? It doesn't look like a Triceratops to me.
Wait a second. He's got a big mouth.
These are.
You don't see that?
Now it looks like a Triceratops. Okay, now it looks like one.
So this is called the bony frill. Or sorry, this is the bony frill. So you can get this basing action. Remember, you might think that Triceratops are extinct, but this pattern shows up quite often. And you trade both sides. One is up and the other is down. That's how she goes. Anyways.
That's actually cool, though. The fact that you have these, like, it's almost like a...
Dude, this is me. That's just me, bro.
No, but, like, it helps you mentally understand what's happening still. It's
yeah. Cool. No, I have these things. Find me a shoe drop and it'll be good. But
okay, so we're officially starting rapid fire. You can put the tickers in the chat. We'll try to get Jason out of here in like 15 minutes. And that's it. Google, yeah, we can start with Google.
Actually, we hit this earlier.
Oh, yeah, we did. Okay, let's do Palo Alto.
Oh. Dude, the whole thing is all the same. It's all the same. It's like great spot to take a shot, but do I need it to go up right away? No. The best thing that happens here is that, look, markets go three directions. They go up, they go down, and they go sideways. We say they're either running or they're resting. So Palo Alto has had a run to the downside. Honestly, best case scenario is that you rest to the right and then you make another move later, which might look like that, but you got to be open to it also looking like that. So it's a hold. It's a no touch yet. You will know that this is going up if and only if it is over 173 even, and if it happens to be below 166 even, it's going lower. So over 173 going up to 187s, below 166 going down to the gulag 159s. All right, next.
Nubank.
New. More sideways consolidation. This is looking a little bit weaker than it was earlier, though. It's fine, but it's sitting on that level that it's. The thing is, like, dude, this $10, it's testing $10 a little bit more than I would have liked to see if I was going to be bullish. I'm not in this name. If I was, though, I don't appreciate the sub $10 wicks coming in so much. It tells me that there's not enough appetite for this stock. There's not enough new money getting long into this name. And I'm making a lower high with equal lows. So this is consolidation continued. It'll look like this. And then maybe, just maybe, you get something like that. But that's going to be a while, and or you need a bigger breach below to create a larger liquidity grab, one of the two. So wait, next.
Okay. ELF.
Absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, this has been an ugly one for the past year and a half.
He's a short. I mean, it's going sideways now. Maybe it gets a little pop into earnings late May, but that's to be sold. Best case scenario, you see near 100, probably just below. You probably get to like 87 and you sell it again. There's nothing good about this. This is a really ugly looking chart. Go ahead.
NBIS, Nebus, are you getting a lot of requests for this one?
I'm not. It's only you.
People are like in love with this stock. It's in the semi space.
This isn't looking at all.
I still don't know enough about it, but yeah, people do think their growth compared to their valuation is like attractive here.
I mean, oh, is this one that you want to cover? Are you a semis guy? I don't know.
No, not really, but just people keep saying
$20. You cannot let this go below 20, because if it does, it's $10.
Yeah.
Well, sorry. So if you lose 20, you're then 16s, 17s, which you just came from in November 2024.
Yeah. Okay.
Possible knife. Yeah. I don't know enough about it to have an edge.
Archer, ACHR.
I saw this one really ugly the other day. No? Oh, yeah. No, exit stage left. Well, if you didn't exit already, you're down like 40%. No.
My thesis on this is simple. They don't have earnings. And so in this environment, if you want to take that gamble, okay, but
No, it's a double top below another double top. It's pretty bearish. The only saving grace, like the silver lining, is this prior double top from 2023.
yeah,
That might run into, and you're getting a little bit of a relief wick today. That's this opened really low at the 630s and then closed towards 7. This thing is looking like it wants to run, so a little bit of that, meaning that like, okay, whoever was over here might be nibbling, and they might be the same people that sold over here. So it's not a short. If you didn't sell, I think you're too late to sell now. So you might have just hodl a little bit, but you don't want to see this get below 650.
okay. Riot, Bitcoin miner.
Oh, and if it doesn't reclaim 9, you're in for consolidation.
Yeah, guys, I am very confused why anyone's still trading the Bitcoin miners. Like, I really don't get it. Like, I'm genuinely confused why anyone is in CleanSpark, Riot, or Marathon still. Like, I really don't understand it. Unless you're wheeling it aggressively, but like, there's so many better premiums on better companies. Like,
yeah, you give it better premiums on IWM and SPY right now. Safer.
I mean, Nvidia is giving you amazing premiums, and it's trading at these levels. Like, why are we into Bitcoin miners right now?
Yeah.
Like, every time I see people talk about it on Twitter, I'm like, why? Why is this trade relevant? What is the cat outside of Bitcoin? But Bitcoin already went to the moon. It went from 15 to 100, and these miners didn't do much.
I have a bet with Gov that he forgot. I put this trade on like a year ago when Mara was Mara $12 puts leaps.
Leap, you bought $12 leap puts. Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm there.
yeah, they all the miners had a decent run last year outside of CleanSpark. It had a run for a little bit, but now I just feel like if Bitcoin gets to 150, I'd rather own Robinhood, Coinbase, or MicroStrategy over.
No, it's the same thing, dude. On the last run, like where was Mara? Where was Riot? It was at 14. Bitcoin has pulled back like 30%. These have pulled back like 50% or more. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it.
It's the low end of the box. It's the low end of the box, but just know if Biddy falls out, these have like a solid 35% more to fall.
Yeah, 100%. Like, if Robinhood could fall 20 to 25%, like, the miners are gonna get hit if Bitcoin falls out.
Yeah. You remember that guy that was just shilling Mara like left and right, like it's going to this, it's going to that, all this.
What guy? I feel like I remember this.
I don't know.
Is it a YouTuber or something?
Nah, I don't know. I think it was Twitter.
That's probably. There's a lot of people last year that cared. Okay, so that's right. Can we do AEHR?
Oh, Air.
Air, yeah, Air.
This is very much tied to Tesla, right?
I think so.
There's they have a contract with them or something.
There's a small cap.
Yeah, it is. I have one buddy that trades this, and it's a story stock. It's got to have a story behind it. So if it has a story, you need to be very close to the headlines on this. It is at the spot that it could miraculously have a headline show up. It is there, but if it doesn't, then it is going back to 3. But yeah, you know the risk, right? I think it's a very high risk, high reward situation.
Hold on, Jason. Well, Hims is down after hours. Eli Lilly just tweeted, "We have no affiliation with Hims." That's interesting. So Hims says, "Hey, we partnered with Eli Lilly today." Eli Lilly says, "Nope, we have no partnership with them."
Sus.
That's sus.
I want to use my sound effect because I have the sus sound effect, but Amit will yell at me.
No, I wouldn't yell at you. That's just very sus.
No, it's a. I'm sure it's.
Oh, play it. Let's hear it.
Oh my god, where the hell is it? No, now it's gonna take forever to find it because I barely ever use this thing anymore.
Dude, but that's so weird, right? Why would Eli Lilly say we don't know what these guys are talking about? Like, that is very weird. Now, granted, I don't think Hims released the report today about Zepbound. I think that was an article or something. So it wasn't Hims officially saying it. I don't think it's an April Fool's thing. That would be weird. They put out a whole press statement. If you go to their Twitter, it's a whole press release.
Oh no. I guess I deleted it.
What were we on? What stock were we on just now?
Does this come through?
Okay, that's too aggressive. That was way too loud. But yeah, we heard it.
Oh, my headphones on.
Okay, yeah, we heard it. That was up there.
It's the sus one.
What were we doing before Hims? I just forgot. Oh,
Air system.
Air.
Yeah, I mean it's at the spot. It's at the spot. It looks good, but again, this is a story trading stock, so you gotta be really tight to the headlines. So if it doesn't have a story with it, it's not one that's like you just trade on technicals necessarily. It's like MViz.
I've heard of this one before. Yeah.
Hey man, why don't you do this? Why don't you just, dude? There's a microvision like mafia out there, bro. There really is. Let me tell you.
Okay. Can we do?
JB's in the house. There you go. All right.
Can we do a firm? No, to CG. Constellation Energy Group.
Okay, so the lenders actually look like they're good for a bounce. This is actually so interesting. So I'm on a weekly time frame right now. The weekly just filled what we would consider like a fair value gap. So whatever news hit here in September 2024 to press this higher, that just finally filled. It's not a bad spot. It can come down a little bit lower, but just looks decent. In general, I wouldn't take it one day. I would take it week by week here. So like if CG is still holding 200 by next week, it's probably okay. It needs to get through 225 to really be in a uptrend, like to have a bullish reversal. So between 190, like 198 and 225. It should be in like consolidation, but if it is over 225, it's going back up. But this is where you would expect it to kind of like chill for a bit.
Okay. Did we not do Nubank? No, we did. We did Nubank.
We did.
Can we do PayPal? Even though there's not really movement there.
What happened?
Honestly, I feel like
What did they do here?
they're waiting for Buffett to buy and he hasn't bought yet. That's the issue. Like, I don't know what else is going to make this
Balls.
It's not a dead company at all, but there's no narrative on PayPal anymore.
Why? What changed?
I just think payments got, I mean, like when Robinhood's having all these
There
flash.
was a narrative, and all of a sudden you're saying there's no more narrative?
Well, the narrative was buybacks. That was always the narrative. The narrative is undervalued, buybacks, free cash flow. Then the market doesn't care about that right now at all.
58.95. Sub 60, have at it. Sell some $60 puts for sure. That's a shame. Are they lying about the buybacks?
No, they are severely undervalued if you factor in the buybacks. But
I'm not asking. I'm asking if they're lying about the buybacks. Because
no, what company lies about the? No, they're not.
Where are their buybacks?
They've done it, but they buy
Where?
back someone who's selling it to them, and then it creates a price that goes down.
I mean, that's bad.
Steve's argument is really good here. Steve says they should cut the buybacks in half and give a 2% dividend. I think that would get the dividend investors at least excited.
What are you talking about?
I think that's a good idea, dude, because buying back's obviously not working. No one cares.
Right. With
the dividend
with the
people
10-year here and yields, but you know the kind of yield that you need to give. You need to be beating AT&T, bud.
No, they're not going to do that. But 2%. I mean, there's a big boglehead community that would love to add a stock like PayPal if it paid a dividend. Is my point. 2%, 3%.
Yeah. That's it's a good switch. But it might be too late at this point.
Yeah, they're not going to do it at this point.
Yeah, because they already wasted all that money. I mean, they could have had a huge party and literally burnt all that cash, bro. Is that not just infuriating when that happens? And made a giant PayPal bonfire.
Yeah, well.
I'm sorry. That's aggressive. So anybody that works at PayPal, I shouldn't have said that. Sorry. Right.
Celsius. Can we look at that? We'll do like 3 more, and then we'll get Jason out of here.
I would wait. I'm already waiting. It's over the left. So I said 32, right? 32 was where it was going to get wild, which is this right there. That's 3150. Sorry, 3150. And where would it go? At least into here, 36s. Now, I just put these 2 lines where it is. It's right there. This is kind of toppy. Today's price action is not the greatest. Someone asked me in my crew today if they should short Celsius too, and I said, wait.
Why would you short Celsius? What's the logic? Like, just technicals, or?
Oh yeah,
It's not overvalued. I don't think you would say it's overvalued.
I don't know. But the technicals would be, you're right into resistance. So you're right into where it broke down before. So here, that's really the biggest one, like right there. You have this. I mean, if you can't see this as resistance already, then now you should be able to, right? And you're on it. You banged up against it today, and you closed below. So today's like open in the pre. Ooh, that's actually worse than I thought. Oh, okay, no, it's not. It's not. I thought that was all red today. So up in the pre, little bit of a buying pressure here, holding, failing in the back half of the day, closing below. This could be a short tomorrow. Down to that 31.50. But that's your line of stand. Basically 37.20, today's high. If you want to be short, it's like this. If you want to be short, you can't be short over 37.29. And if you want to be long, you're not going up until you're over 37.29.
Yeah. This one's just so interesting, right? It's every day green, even in the midst of the, like it's acting like a Verizon when the market's
Well, it
tanking.
is. That's the sector it sits in. It sits in the staples sector. And if you do go up, it's up to 39.66, just under 40. But that's the sector it sits in. So that's how it traded even over here.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, can we do 4?
Shift 4. Is this the next one that you're going to do? Or is this one played out already?
What do you mean?
How about toast?
I've never looked. I know Tanner likes 4, but I've never like deeply looked into it. Toast is interesting too, but I never looked into them either.
Dude, I'm just saying none of them are going to hit like Palantir or Hood.
Yeah.
It's just so unfortunate.
They just don't have the excitement behind a lot of them, you know?
You need like generational pick, something that's like game changing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like transformational.
Yeah.
This is not transforming Jack. What is it transforming? I don't know. You have earnings coming. So I think this looks like a little bit lower, dude. This looks like a little bit lower in the 75s. And then I would take a shot, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do just a couple more to end it out. Trade desk. You're taking a stab at that one?
Intraday pop. I don't know if it holds. It did this once before at the same level. I mean, for a dead cat bounce, this was so disappointing. For a dead cat bounce at 55, look at this little like sad blip on the radar. It's okay. But again, if you get the Triceratops move, I messed that drawing up. It's the little blip, then you can get a base, and then you have the horny frill, right? The bony frill. It's a bony frill.
You said horny.
No, it's not bony.
I heard horny, my brother. I heard.
No, it's a bony frill. I don't know why I can't draw my Triceratops right now.
This is not bad at art. It's actually not bad.
Where's his mouth? Whatever.
Okay, so you don't like
what
it.
you don't want it to be like a shoe drop, which is not. This is not a good shoe drop. So it's 55s to hold, right? I think that's clear. Is it a good spot? You actually have to take this way out to the monthly. And you could say it's actually not a bad spot to be seeing this kind of price action. Your downside is 46s. But does it make sense that 55s is holding? Absolutely. Right. So this is your downside here. I don't know enough I haven't done any due diligence on this company to know like what the heck is going on. I know it's advertising, but every time I post about something on this, I always get this feedback on like leadership is doing something like that they're not happy with.
No.
So I don't know what that is. But this is your downside. It's down to that 46. And over here, it's basing. And could you get like that dead cat bounce? For sure, right? But if what we saw already is what we're going to get, like that was kind of sad. Because the dead cat bounce, this thing got demolished so bad. Have we seen obliteration like this?
No, 50% down after earnings. I have not seen that.
More than 50%.
Yeah.
On obliteration like this, near 60 is like
I feel like if you buy this, you have to know something the street doesn't understand about Trade Desk. And if
I
you buy
took a
something-
shot at this and I was like, that, yeah.
Like you
I
just
was-
have to have a secret that the street is stupid about when it comes to a stock if you're buying it this low.
You have to know the story. Yeah. It looks technically like a base, but like to plead ignorance on the rest of the story is kind of dangerous. I think it
I'd
could
rather
be
buy
like
Google, right? Ad tech, advertise. Like I'd rather buy Google.
I'd rather buy Shopify.
Where's Shopify right now? Is it in the 80s yet?
No, dude, it's holding in. It's holding in, bro. Like under 100, that was my shopping. Was one of my shopping list items.
No.
Like in here, I would rather buy Shopify over. I think that Shopify at least doesn't have this whatever narrative that Trade Desk does.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's a better pick. One of the two. I would rather Shopify. Sorry.
All right, last couple. Walmart.
Oh, I went long Walmart today, bro.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Well, because it's
Wait,
like
so you're hold on, you're calling BS on consumer confidence then, right? You
no,
kind of have to.
I think I would call max downside consumer confidence.
No, but so you're saying the consumer will keep spending. That's what you're saying if you go long Walmart.
Yeah. Consumer will keep spending.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all.
Amit also bought Nike today. Did you guys know that?
I
He
day
texted me.
traded Nike last week. Made a
He
lot
just
of
bought
money.
it. He bought it back. He bought it back.
Made a lot of money, dude.
I day traded WTF, man.
You
WTF.
haven't told yet. You could lose all your money, bro. You haven't pulled the trigger yet.
No, I haven't.
You haven't realized the profit.
That's true. So Walmart has a little bit of a gappy gap to fill. I don't know what happened, but there was this big whoosh moment here. So there's currently an imbalance in the market. I think this is 90 real fast. But from there, I don't know what happens because you're going to be at resistance. So I think you see 90s just over. Because this big giant whoosha candle, see this volume profile here? If I move that down, there is nothing. So there's a hard imbalance in the market. If anybody knows that I was trading Walmart today, it is actually because of this. A very hard imbalance, meaning like a straight up 0 transactions happened and this fell for no, like the market is going to need to retrace this sooner or later.
Also, your WTF is down 20% after hours. Just letting you know.
I'm still green, baby.
You're gonna ride this to fucking 0, dude. I know you.
Dude. No. I was told, and I forgot, right? I was told early on that you don't take penny stocks home with you on the first date. And just like, I just totally botched that. Anyways.
Yeah. Well, you're still up. You're up.
You don't sleep with penny stocks. You get rid of them at the close.
All right, last two. ASTS.
Oops.
This one's also getting a lot of momentum in the space sector.
Downside momentum. 30% down
Yeah.
does not look good. No. You're going to see 20.
Where's that right now? 27?
22.
22.
It's only 10%. It was at 37. It was at 35.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think also like there's headlines on this one that are important. And then
What do you want me to tell the lady? Mama's calling.
no, there's I mean we could I was gonna do Rivian and that's it, but
Oh, Rivian, baby.
that's it.
Dude, I'm just telling you, please. The real request is Rivian.
You sound like a guy who has a lot of Rivian.
I'm a guy who wants some Rivian. She's done me dirty. She's done me well, you know, but I think it's Rivian. And, you know, it's maybe, just maybe possible that the little Rivi has a little bit more in her gas tank than Tesla this year.
Tesla? Dude, if Rivian outperforms Tesla for the year, that's gonna be.
I'm just saying, it's very possible that Rivian outperforms Tesla. Very possible.
Okay, cool. That's good analysis. That is it. Can we do one?
Rivi for short. RIV is it RIVVY -ANNE. Rivi and but it's a good day today, mind you, right into that overhead supply. But maybe you could go interview RJ.
Dude, if you have a hookup to RJ.
Do you not?
No, I don't have a hookup to RJ. I mean, maybe our Coke dealer could be the same, but like other than that,
dude, he clearly does not do.
He clearly does Coke. It's not working though. On the interview.
Does not.
It's not.
It's encouraging, but it's not out of the weeds yet. This is very tight. What's mostly encouraging is that this is not at $5.
Yeah.
But Rivian, she flips that switch. Look at this. There's a little green box. They were gross profit. They showed a gross profit last quarter. Not a net profit, but there was green, baby. Look it.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
So Rivian, you know what I meant? I'm just going to go out and say this. It's Rivi. It's Rivian.
I hope you're right. I really do.
So put it on the radar because you already got Matt already jacked Rocket Lab. You can't do that, right? Nobody in the circle or the crew is doing Rivi. Look. It was always Rocket Lab and Rivi for the possible 10 baggers in 10 years.
Oh yeah, it was Rocket Lab, SoFi, or Rivian.
No, it was always Rivian or Rocket Lab. And even then I was more on the Rivian.
I'm going with Rocket Lab, bro.
Bro, but you can't pick that one because Matt has it.
But I'd rather pick Matt's pick than Rivian.
That's only because you're ignorant still. It's gonna be.
Look, if they can get profitable,
imagine net profitability.
No, yes, I think that explodes.
It was already gross profit. Like there was already gross profit last quarter, not net profit. But imagine net profit 2-3 quarters. Where's the stock? And then where's the stock?
It's higher, most likely.
Well, how much higher?
I don't know how much. I don't know how much the market cares that much about. Like once you're profitable, you get a little boost, but then you have to actually keep going, right? Like,
yeah, but like where
we got the catalyst, but I don't know if it's like gets you to $25-30. I think you're putting too much weight on them showing a profitable quarter. Finally they put up a profitable quarter.
You know what? Where's Matt? Get Matt. Go do Rivian, because like this guy doesn't want it.
I'd rather Peter Beck than RJ control my capital for the next 10 years. That's 1000%.
All right. Well, I'll just tell you what. The weekly is constructive. You have a lot of consolidation. This is getting very tight. It doesn't have to happen this quarter or next, but this is about to go down sometime this year. I don't mean the direction down, but something's big is going to happen.
Do you like $15?
Oh yeah. Well, no, I don't think that's high enough. 2027.
You know, like 15 is high enough. That's like decently out of the money. That means you're really bullish, bro. You think this is going to double?
I think it would be a double. I'd be more like 20s.
All right.
I'd be more like 20s for Jan 2027. I mean, either works or it doesn't, but
okay, absolute last one, real quick. Fubo. A lot of people.
Hello. Womp womp. It's not interesting, dude.
Yeah.
It's giving back the whole. Who are they buying?
They didn't buy. They settled a lawsuit with Disney, and that helped them out.
Oh, nothing happened?
I don't think they bought a company. No, Disney's not suing them anymore for the sports stuff. So that's what really hyped them up. Dude, I just don't. When Nvidia and Google are trading at these levels, Fubo doesn't become interesting.
Yeah, it's a headline mover.
It's a pure headline mover, yeah.
So unless you know the headline or you get lucky with the headline, I just don't follow the news that closely.
Yeah, they're merging with Hulu. That's that news is baked in at this point. So now
yeah, that's what it was. And so if that didn't, that's what I was asking. So like, if they're not excited about that, like, what could possibly happen?
Wait, hold on. So if Disney bought them to put in Hulu, why is this company still public? Like, or are they leaving them as an independent company to operate?
Or Bob is like giving Hulu the axe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's weird. It's a great product. A lot of people love Fubo. I'm not sure about the pure investment.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, Jason, you got to go. Unless you want to do Netflix.
You got your jet.
You got your wife at home. Thank you, Jason. There's his Twitter.
You guys.
Yes,
we did cover new. Yeah.
He'll be back next Tuesday. If you are not following Jason, so first of all, not only do you get great TA, you get a lot of entertainment because this guy.
Dude, sometimes if the market's like really bad, I'm just like, we're going back to the memes right now.
He loves posting memes. He makes fun of me, posts Robin a screenshot. It's great. So it's a great.
Hey, and a lot of money out there in those like March Madness bets. Just saying, some crazy ones. But did you know I got like a 10 bagger, like 10x return on a Robinhood twice?
How much did you put in? Tell me you put in like 2,000. Tell me you put in.
No, the last one. So the last one I didn't get the lows. Evan did, but I bought the dip on Florida. I bought 3,000 contracts at 30 cents, and that was like $2,000 return. Evan bought them at 12 cents, and they went to $1. Right? He held all the way back. He bought 1,000.
Is there a game today?
No, not today.
Okay.
And then I did another one earlier. It was crazy. Was literally entered at like 8 or 9 cents, closed at $1, which I was like, dude, this stuff is getting wild.
All right. Well, you're gambling, you're making money. You're doing
I have a quant. I have a quant. I don't know. I got a guy that's doing like 20 hours of review every day.
Jason actually does have a guy who texts him what to buy.
Like, it's wild. But yeah. But anyways, all right. Adios.
All right. Good shit. We appreciate you, brother.
Adios. Yeah.
Bye. All right. If you have stayed so far until the end of the show, you're in for a treat because someone is texting me that I have to call him because he has something to say. I literally have no idea what he's going to say, but let's give him a call and let's see what he has to say. He's like vehemently like, no, I have to be on the show today. So.
Night tonight, aren't you?
What'd you say?
You're putting in a late night tonight, aren't you?
Well, I still have to do even more work. I'm not done for the day, but you apparently have something to say. And because this is your stream more than it is my stream.
Stop it.
I thought I might as well. Look, the chat's going crazy. Steve, oh my God, Steve.
Stop
like,
it. That's not true.
Look at the chat. Everyone, like, they love you, bro. They love you more than me. So, Steve, the MFing goat. This is like, I'm curious.
So,
what do you have to say? I'm really curious.
So, I think I'm getting stupider.
Okay.
I really think I'm getting stupider because you know what? This market does not make any sense. I'm going to paint a picture for you. Okay.
Wait, you're not gonna April Fool me, right?
No. Why would I April? No.
Okay. All right. Continue.
Absolutely not. That's ridiculous.
It makes me a little skeptical that you say it like that, but okay. Whatever.
No, it's ridiculous. So when I look at a company to invest in, okay, because I rarely do something like an SMCI, I'm looking at the current price I'm paying for the company's profitability, and I am looking at I have a board meeting right now I completely forgot about. We're gonna have to wait till tomorrow. I'm sorry, Matt. I gotta go.
Wait, you gotta go?
Yeah, unless you can do this in half an hour. I have to. I'm the administrator for Zoom, and we have an apartment sale that I got to approve. I gotta go. I didn't even remember. I have our VP call
I'll get you on in the morning tomorrow. I'll get you in the morning.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
All right, later. Why does that feel like he just April fooled me? Dude, tell me that's not. He's been like literally for the past hour. He's like, I need to come on. I have a rant. I'm like, all right, cool. You come on at the end. And then I'm like, are you going to April fool me or something? He's like, no, of course not. And then 2 minutes into before he even starts talking about what he talks about, he has to leave for some administrative work. That definitely feels like an April Fool's, dude. Yeah, he just blue balled us, bro. I legit don't know what he's angry about. He wouldn't tell me. I was like, what do you want to talk about? He's like, you'll see. All right. I guess you guys will have to wait, just like me. Honestly, if I had to guess, I would say he's, I don't know, upset about Nvidia still trading here, but I feel like that's not a rant because he already has ranted about Nvidia for the past couple of weeks at this point. So I'll try to get him on tomorrow, guys. I legit did not know that was going to happen, but yeah, we'll have to wait till tomorrow to hear his rant. Chat says, why are you still streaming? Well, I would have been done 10 minutes ago, but Steve wanted to rant about something, but now he can't. So, dude, it literally just left us hanging, left us high and dry completely. I'll try to figure out. I'll probably call him later tonight and we'll talk about it tomorrow morning. All right, cool. So that's it for today. Tomorrow's going to be a very, very important day. We have April 2nd, aka Liberation, or also known as Liquidation Day. And so although this wonderful product has been causing me to liquidate as well, I don't know if Trump is going to make it worse tomorrow in regards to being liquidated and liberated from my capital. We'll see. We'll deal with it together. It'll happen at 4 p.m. So realistically, we're not really going to know anything till the end of the day. I mean, I'm sure we'll get some headlines. Oh, there was a Wall Street Journal, or sorry, a Bloomberg piece that came out a couple hours ago. And quite frankly, it might have been the reason why we saw a little bit of pump overnight. And the headline is that, this is Wall Street Journal. It's not Bloomberg. Trump is doing a last minute redraw of his tariff plans to soften things. Notably, this isn't because Trump wants to do it, but because Trump isn't strong or popular enough to rally the entire party. And he's getting, as sources say to the Wall Street Journal, some pushback in the Republican Party around the extent of these tariffs. Also, here's another thing that I believe Politico reported today. So this is their scoop. They came out and said, hey, the fall guy, if tariffs don't work, it's going to be Lutnick. Politico's White House Bureau Chief Dasha Burns writes in with a new reporting on Lutnick's role as one of the biggest internal proponents of Liberation Day. "Quote unquote, the potential economic fallout from tomorrow's tariffs may well find Lutnick himself liberated from his role in the administration, according to multiple people close to the White House." And we know this is true. At least, like, we know that Lutnick has been super big on the tariffs because he's done like thousands of interviews at this point, or at least tens and tens of interviews over the past couple of weeks, expressing how important tariffs are. I mean, if tariffs don't go the right way, Politico is reporting that he's going to be the fall guy for it. Will tariffs go the right way? I mean, no one knows, right? We'll find out at least tomorrow what the beginning of it looks like. I do think there's some legitimacy to this Wall Street Journal article about nixing some of the plans, because you've been hearing rumblings about all these different variations of the plans. My belief is it's still going to be reciprocal, and that's going to average out to about 20% tariffs across the board, even if some country has like 100% tariffs, the other country has 5% tariffs. But yeah, tomorrow we will get a lot of that clarity to see what ends up happening. All right, that's it. Tomorrow, April 2nd. I will not be live all day tomorrow. I'll be on the market open, but we'll start the market close a little early. And Tom Lee's also hopping on tomorrow. I don't know how it's going to work out because Trump is supposed to go live at 4. Tom Lee's supposed to join the show at 5. If Trump goes live at 4:45, I don't think Tom Lee is going to join at 5 because he probably wants to hear what Trump has to say. So it might be a little wonky in terms of scheduling, but yeah, starting at 3:30 tomorrow, we'll be live and we will go with the flow and see how that plays out. But we should have Tom on tomorrow after Trump talks, and then we'll see what he has to say. Also, I freaking forgot, dude. Tesla deliveries tomorrow. I'm going with 375. That's my number, 375. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's more than that. I saw some estimates today below 355. Oh, Poly Market, I think, has a 55% chances below 355. So you do have the prediction markets going a little bit lower than some of the consensus here. But I don't know if we can do a live reaction with Tom Lee, because I think he's going to want to hear it, right? So I think he himself might delay it, because like he wants to hear what's happening. He wasn't supposed to go live today. He was supposed to go live on tomorrow, but now he's coming on tomorrow, which is, I mean, Tom's obviously cares about what Trump has to say about tariffs, especially because he's predicting this V-shape. So yeah, it might be a bit flexible towards the end of the day. All right, cool. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. We'll see you guys tomorrow. It'll be exciting. And Tom will be on via audio spaces. I'll be on with Evan. So we're going to do it via audio. That'll happen hopefully right after Trump speaks. And then, hopefully there is some clarity on tariffs, and the market has priced it in enough to move forward from where we are right now. All right, cool. That's it. Thank you, everybody. Daily recap still coming out in about an hour and a half. So that'll be out in a bit. Please make sure to drink and stay hydrated like I am. So yeah, always good to have some H2O, especially if it makes you feel cool when you're holding the bottle. Still, by the way, the one I had at Robinhood, it was what's the opposite of still? What's it called? Sparkly. Yeah. So I didn't love sparkly that much, but still, I'm better with still. But the sparkly one was like carbonated water or whatever. But still Saratoga. You guys gonna see this bottle every single day. Every single day. They're not paying me anything. I just saw it at the grocery store. So I was like, you know what? I'm buying this thing. And so yeah, we're gonna keep drinking. All right. Thank you, everybody. See you guys tomorrow on the Market Open. Bye, everyone.